30 years ago, Hollywood movie magic, the wild thing and a healthy dose of Bob Uecker in the booth, brought baseball excitement to Cleveland and millions of others. And tonight, we don't have a script, but we got a fantastic field of young slugging superstars and a hometown hero poised to give this city on Lake Erie an evening to remember. We welcome you all to the 2019 T-Mobile Home Run Derby. First pitch, seconds away. Time now for introductions and our Cleveland Indian PA announcer, Bob Tayak.
Baseball fans, welcome to Cleveland, Ohio, and the 2019 T-Mobile Home Run Derby. And we are just moments away from getting this show started, providing the soundtrack for the night. Give it up for DJ Irie.
A million fresh starts, what I needed was closure. Yeah, I lost who I was, but I found my composure.
And now it's time to meet the hitters in the 2019 T-Mobile Home Run Derby. In our first matchup, the 5 seed. He reached the finals of the Home Run Derby in his rookie season and has 20 home runs at the All-Star break. From the Los Angeles Dodgers, Joc Pederson. And his opponent, the 4 seed. With 23 home runs at the break, he was the most valuable player in last year's All-Star game. From the Houston Astros, Alex Bregman. And in our next matchup, the 8 seed. He's a rookie sensation from the Toronto Blue Jays, looking to add another Home Run Derby championship to the family, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. His opponent, the number 1 seed in his first Home Run Derby, the Oakland A's slugging third baseman with 21 home runs in the first half of the season, Chapman. The 6th seed. He was the 2018 National League Rookie of the Year and has 21 home runs at the All-Star break. From the Atlanta Braves, Acuña Jr. And his opponent, the 3 seed. His home run of 473 feet, the longest among this year's Derby field. The power-hitting first baseman from the Pittsburgh Pirates, Joc Bell. And our last matchup. Okay, Cleveland, let's hear it. The 7 seed, the hometown slugger with 19 home runs at the All-Star break from your Cleveland Indians, Carlos Santana. His opponent, the 2 seed, leading the major leagues in home runs of over 400 feet. New York Mets rookie with 30 home runs at the break. The polar bear, Pete Alonso. And there they are, the 8 sluggers of the 2019 T-Mobile Home Run Derby.
Yeah, we make our sweet and peace. Now let's go. The need is deep in that fantasies. Yeah, you and me, my friend, you best believe we gotta fix this family. You see, you say so to get to the relief.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please stand, remove your hats, and welcome retired Cleveland Police Sergeant Kennedy Jones as we honor America with the performance of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And thank you, Sergeant Kennedy Jones, for tonight's performance of the national anthem. And thank you to the F-16s from the Stingers of the 112th Fighter Squadron of the Ohio Air National Guard.
What a way to get it started. Coming up, the first two matchups. First, a pair of Derby veterans. Alex Bregman back in the Derby for the second year in a row. Upset he didn't win it the first time against Joc Pederson, back for the first time since 2015. And then an American League All-Star and a future superstar, Matt Chapman, replacing the 1 seed against a guy everyone's been waiting to see, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. of the Blue Jays. Here we go.
In Major League Baseball, please welcome the Little Leaguers from Talmadge, Ohio. And joining them on the field, Indian shortstop Francisco Lindor. And in support of Little League baseball and softball, T-Mobile is donating $250,000 to Little League to help grow participation around the country and make Little Leagues more accessible and affordable to players and their families. Plus, tonight's Home Run Derby participants will be swinging for more than the trophy. For every home run hit, T-Mobile will donate up to $5,000 more in support of the cause. From Little League to the big leagues, T-Mobile has you covered.
What a tremendous gesture by T-Mobile as we grow the game, and we know we have a lot of eyeballs, young and old, watching tonight's T-Mobile Home Run Derby. Welcome, everyone. So delighted to be alongside Mark Teixeira, Buster Olney, and Jess Mendoza will join us shortly. Look, this is big business here with some money on the line, and you can tell the intensity of some of these guys.
Yeah, the game has definitely changed when it comes to the Home Run Derby. This is no longer an exhibition. This is no longer kind of a novel thing that guys do after batting practice on the workout day. This is big business, and you see guys taking batting practice during the season to try to hit home runs, to actually practice for the Home Run Derby. Look at Vlad Jr. here.
Listen to Vlad.
Listen to these balls, by the way. I mean, to hit for 4 straight minutes, to try to hit balls 440 feet, this is not a natural thing, but it has become much more normal in 2019 because there's $1 million on the line and home runs are everywhere in Major League Baseball.
So he hits the ball hard. We've heard all about the exit velocity, and if you have the exit velocity of some of these players, they tend to move into final rounds. This guy who's joining us now on the set is one of those guys whose exit velocity is amongst the best in Major League Baseball, off of one of the great first halves in Major League Baseball history for a rookie. The Polar Bear, Pete Alonso, joins us. You good with Polar Bear?
Absolutely.
You love Polar Bear?
Yeah.
What do you make of the whole night so far and the whole event?
I mean, everything has just been so wonderful. I'm just really blessed to be here. And, it's just got to make sure that's right. I mean, I'm just enjoying my first time. I'm trying to open my eyes and kind of pinch myself a little bit, and because to me this is surreal.
Well, you've been surreal this first half. Pete's going to hang with us. We'll fix that cord around the neck. Marley Rivera also here with us helping out because some of the players here are from different countries than the United States, and she's going to bring us some insight on that. Marley?
And right here, look who's here, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., whose father took part in the Home Run Derby in 2007, and he is the youngest player to be in the Home Run Derby. Vladdy, what does it mean to you, this environment and this moment?
Bueno, yo creo que mayormente una buena experiencia, ¿me entiendes? Estar aquí con tanta pelotero, ¿me entiendes? Y jugadores que uno ha visto por televisión y ahora tú estás con ellos y uno se siente bien.
Vladdy's talking about how this is a wonderful experience and it's just very special, especially with players that he tends to see on television. And the best part is that he got a little FaceTime call with who? Who was FaceTiming you, Vladdy?
Estaba hablando con Albert Pujol. Albert Pujol llamó a Maitrao y estaban hablando por FaceTime.
So Mike Trout FaceTime none other than Albert Pujols. So let's see if Buster was talking to Albert Pujols too.
Marley, earlier today, Matt Chapman bumped into Christian Yelich and he said to him, I got big shoes to fill. You get the text on Sunday morning, you're stepping in for Christian Yelich in the Derby. What was it like to call your dad Jim, tell him he's going to pitch to you?
It was a dream come true. I mean, something that we talked about doing, almost as a joke when we would watch the Home Run Derby. Like, how cool would that be to do that? I mean, at that time, we didn't even know if I'd ever make it to the major leagues, and now to be able to be here and doing this with my dad, never forget it.
Jim, how meaningful is this for you?
I'm sorry, what?
How meaningful is it for you?
Oh my gosh, it's a dream. Like Matt said, it's a dream come true. We thought about this moment if it ever happened. I'm honored that he asked me to throw to him. It's been a while. We practiced a little bit today, so we feel good. But it's just the whole day has been a dream come true. Having a blast.
Awesome. Have fun. Thank you. Carl, back to you.
What a treat. I mean, what a treat. Just imagine for those of you that are sitting at home with your son or daughter and you're just discussing the possibility of being in a home run derby. It came true for Matt and Jim Chapman. It's got to be a little nerve-wracking as much as it is an incredible night.
Well, yeah, when you go into a home run derby, you've been used to playing in front of 50,000 people. You've been used to playing in front of great fans that are cheering for you or against you, but you're not used to it on this type of stage in front of so many people without a cage and without fielders out there.
Single elimination. So Peterson and Bregman will lead things off. Guerrero and Chapman on the left side. Then on the right side, you got Ronald Acuña Jr. of the Braves, Josh Bell of the Pirates. Carlos Santana will take on Pete Alonso. Everybody's got 4 minutes. They got a timeout, and we're trying to see if you can get some extra time by hitting a ball over 440 feet. This is a really interesting first-round matchup when you're looking at Joc Pederson and Alex Bregman. These are the two guys that have experience in the Derby. I think that counts for something.
They do have experience, and they've both done well, too. It's not like these guys are coming back to try to redeem themselves. They've all done very well in the Derby, and Joc Pederson is out for a win this year.
Joc's father, Stu, played 8 games with the Dodgers organization, and this was the guy that was celebrating with his younger brother, Champ. 2015, he went toe-to-toe with Todd Frazier. I mean, toe-to-toe. We all remember the great comeback that Todd Frazier was forced into. It's because Peterson forced him into it. Todd Frazier won it in Cincinnati, Ohio. In fact, a pair of brothers that are on hand, Champ Peterson, Joc's brother, and all the Petersons representing tonight. Cannot wait to get this thing started. Feels like he ran into a buzzsaw in Frazier, and here's his next chance to win his first Derby. Gave you some of the rules, so it's a 4-minute timed at bat. Next pitch cannot be thrown until the previous one lands. 1 timeout per at bat in the first and semis. 2 timeouts in the finals. 30 seconds if 2 balls go 440 feet or further. 1 minute at bats, no clock stoppage in a tiebreaker. And if we're still tied, I'd love to see a swing off. I mean, I think that would be tremendous.
It'd be a lot of fun because we've gotten used to these 4 minutes, but we haven't seen a true 3-pitch swing off as a sudden death tiebreaker here.
The guy throwing the ball to him is Dino Ebel, and Ebel has done this before. Threw it to Albert Pujols, threw to Vlad Guerrero Sr.
And when I played for the Angels, Dino Ebel was our third base coach. He threw me batting practice, one of the most true balls. And when I talk about a true ball, wherever he wants to put it, Joc Pederson is saying, get that ball inside, I want to pull. Watch Ebel hit that over and over again.
And you're kind of getting into a little bit of a groove here. We've had some practice, and you're watching Peterson now launch a couple, and that one also crawls over the wall. As Pete Alonso is watching us, are you feeling an advantage for lefties? You've heard about it in this ballpark versus a guy like you as a righty.
Honestly, I just want to hit the ball hard. I feel like with these big league balls, I feel like they're going to be a little juice today, especially for the Derby. And I feel like if you just put good barrel on it, they're going to fly no matter what the conditions. And
to any part of the park.
Yeah, any part of the park. And it looks like now the wind's starting to die down a little bit, and I feel like all fields are in play today.
First round average about 13 homers over this time Derby, and right now Joc Pederson almost looks a little tired himself.
Yeah, well, he's trying to get into a rhythm. He's not lifting the ball, which is something that Joc Pederson's really good at. His natural swing is to lift it, and he just needs to slow down a little bit and get back to his natural swing path.
You can see that graphic up there with the star. 2 440-foot homers will give you a 30-second bonus. He's got one clicked off.
There you go.
And I'm interested, a guy like you, how many swings do you think it's going to take for you to get into that rhythm? Because it's taken Joc a little bit over a minute here, but now he looks like he's launching balls.
Well, the biggest advice I got from I'm really blessed because I have Robbie Cano and Todd Frazier, 2 home run derby champions. So I got a really good veteran committee of champions, and also Chili Davis is our was the hitting coach with the A's when Cespedes won. So I had a really good group, and they just said, like, you got more time than you think. Relax, and if you don't get a homer pitch, don't swing, because you have way more time than you really think you do. Especially Todd, he says if you have maybe a minute left or something like that, and you're down maybe 5, all it takes is a little run to get in a groove, and then you're right back in it or ahead.
Have you competed in derbies before?
I have. I think the only one that I've competed against was against Jose Canseco in the 2014 Northwoods Collegiate Summer League.
Of course.
And you beat him.
I didn't personally, so I'll tell you the story. So me and Joe Dudek, he was the first baseman for UNC at the time. Me and him competed against Jose, and so all of us competed in the old format, 10 outs.
Yeah.
And I hit 5, Joe hit 6, and Jose hit 1. And then,
but Jose moved on.
But Jose moved on because he had to move on, and then Joe put on an absolute show and took him down in the last round, and I mean it was awesome.
Well, talk about a show. I mean, Joc's not even hitting these balls, and he's on a little bit of a roll now. He does need to get one over 440 or 2 over 440 to get that bonus here.
He's got one of those. That one won't get there, but he's starting to elevate that ball. You mentioned the right field. He's got 9 now. Peterson in the first round in 15 had 13. Yep. Then he had 12 in the semis. He's got to be at that number again with $120 to go.
There's that groove right there.
You both have been in that groove. What's that feel like?
Sweetness.
There's nothing better. There's nothing better. When you're hitting home runs, I tell people the hardest thing to do in baseball is to hit a home run. And whenever you connect, whether it's in batting practice or a game, it still feels good. The sound of the bat, the feeling off that ball right there, the feeling of the hands when that ball connects, Pete, there is nothing better.
Well, actually, the best feeling is when you don't feel the ball hit the bat at all. It's just a sweet feeling. You don't even feel it, and it's just a nice smooth swing, and you just kind of feel the bat flow through the zone, and then that's it. That's when you know you really got it.
Boys, he's hitting them 429, 431. He's got 30 seconds left. He's got a bunch of home runs here, 14. But boy, he'd love to get an extra 30 by going to 440. That's going to be really close.
Yeah.
452. He gets an extra 30. Huge for him. And look at the numbers, Mark. He's got 15 already.
Yeah, and it's one of these things that don't panic. Like you said, Pete, don't panic when you have 5 or 6 after the first 2 minutes, because all it takes is a run. And all of these guys, whether it's Joc Pederson or Alex Bregman, when they get on a run, they can hit a lot of home runs.
Very impressive opening round for Peterson.
To end on.
So he's got a 30-second bonus coming up, and he's sitting on 17. Big comeback after the TO. See brother Champ there. For Joc Pederson, he, by the way, wanted Johnny Washington to throw him pitches tonight. Johnny now works for the Padres as the current hitting coach, and as Joc Pederson said, that didn't go over too well. So he's got Tino Ebel throwing pitches to him tonight. He's part of a Dodger team that's got 3 guys with over 20 homers, and boy, he's sitting on 17 with 30 more seconds.
And you got to feel really good about this. The magic number in the first round is 13 or 14. If you can get over that number, you feel really good about your chances. And Joc, as we talked about, once he got into that groove, the ball started flying.
That's going to go.
Joc Pederson now with 18 home runs.
That's going to go.
He just gets the ball in the air so easily. Again, he doesn't have to try to hit the ball in the air. He doesn't have to try to hit home runs. His natural swing takes the ball out.
Oh, absolutely. Playing against him, he just gets the balls. It's effortless.
Hammered.
That's pretty.
Hammered.
And for all the fans, the second deck here in Cleveland is an absolute bomb. If you see a lefty get to the second deck, you know he got one.
Joc Pederson,
there it is. That's
what
a
a
hell of a
show. And the crowd and the players all standing here on the first baseline. 21, the most in this format in the first round had been Stanton with 16, Pete. That's an unbelievable number.
Yeah, that's the way to start off the Derby. That's starting it off right for sure.
So the two guys on this desk look at you and Joc Pederson as the two guys to beat. And Joc did not disappoint. You look at that slow motion swing. He's actually pointing towards left field when he starts out. He knows he wants to get that ball in the air, get that ball to the pull side. He had Dino Ebel the entire round throw the ball middle in, and he just stays on his backside, spins, and the ball goes forever.
Incredible numbers for Peterson. I misspoke. Stanton had 24 in 2016. He's got 21. And there's an early example of the power to right field. A great start to the Derby. The ball's flying tonight. You got great conditions. That's what I took from that.
Yeah, ball's gonna be in play everywhere, it looks like.
Last thought before you get in there and you go start to perform in this Derby. What's like the last thought for the polar bear?
Just got to go in with a killer mentality, you know? I mean, at the end of the day, we're trying to compete and win this thing. So, I mean, it's all about putting on a show, but also every single one of us guys is trying to win this thing, you know? So we're going to try and do it.
Go get them.
Thank you.
Thanks
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me on.
Great to have you to start the show. Jess Mendoza's here with us as well. Jess?
Hey, guys. All right. I got a bunch of Astros with me because their boy, Alex Bregman. Are you throwing stuff? What are you trying to check the wind? Checking the wind.
I'm going in from left. I'm checking the wind. I don't like that. You're going to go that way.
All right. What advice did you give your boy?
Backspin to left. That's it. Don't get cute. Backspin extreme to left. It's like 325 down that.
Clinic and the foul line.
Yeah. Between that 811 and the foul pole.
Okay, so pitcher advice. We got a few pitchers here. Like, you guys jump in on the advice at all? Like, what do you tell Bregman?
Just stay right here, like where the wall comes in.
But you got the big wall. There's a big wall in left. Okay, come on. You think about Bregman last year, right? We talked to you guys last year. Schwarber kicks him out in the first round. We know how Alex is, right? I mean, competitive. Is that a big part of why he came back this year?
100%.
Yeah, and $1 million. His dad was telling me, he goes, he gives his mom the car this year, so I'm getting $1 million. Lay got the car last year, I'm getting $1 million this year.
You got it for the MVP, the car.
Do you think those guys have fun? Those Astros have so much fun. And a guy like Bregman, they kid around. He does need to hit everything to left field. I mean, even left center, you got to kind of take it out of play a little bit because unlike a guy like Joc Pederson, Alex Bregman's got a very level swing. He has to backspin the ball. He needs the ball up in the zone. He's one of the best pure hitters in baseball, and his level swing is great for a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. It's not necessarily great for the Derby, so he needs a little bit of help get that ball down the line.
That's where they want him to hit it, just a little bit higher. He's sitting here at 4. Remember the start that Joc got off to? Then he called timeout with about 2 minutes and 11 seconds to go, and he exploded. Javier Bracamonte is throwing the ball to Bregman. That's the bullpen catcher and the BP pitcher. Bracamonte was the guy who last year during the All-Star game retrieved Bregman's ball that he hit in the 10th inning. He was, of course, the MVP of the All-Star game. He is a World Series winner in 2017, and he desperately wants this as he calls timeout with 2 minutes and 30 seconds still to go. So we'll take a quick 30-second timeout. He's sitting on 6. Peterson's got 21. Tonight, T-Mobile's donating money to Little League International based on home runs hit. For every regular home run, 1,000 donated, and for every magenta bonus ball home run, 5,000 will be donated. This in addition to the 250,000 we've already seen committed. So a big connection between T-Mobile, Major League Baseball, and Little League Baseball as Bregman sends one sky high.
And remember, Bregman and Peterson are the only two guys this entire field with experience, so Bregman knows what he's doing out there. It's not like he's not prepared for this Derby here. He knows he's got to hit the ball down the left field line. And in Houston, his home ballpark, he's got a short left field porch with a high wall. He knows BP, what exactly swing will get the results for home runs in batting practice.
He's also seeing, Jess, there's no Crawford boxes out there. That's what he just said. It's a low wall that we're used to.
All right, what did he tell you guys?
His exact words were, I need to get hot. I was a little jumpy in my first few swings, but I got to go right down this line. That's exactly what he told me.
All right, so Alex's personality, has he got it in him? I mean, this is a big deficit right now.
He's got it in him. He's a competitor, man. He competes, so he's getting hot. That boy,
he's getting hot
right now. But he's got to go because he has to hit about 15 more to catch a Peterson.
He's getting hot.
He has to go. Get up, stretch. Here we go.
The biggest challenge for Bregman's going to be that 440-foot home run. That's an extra 30, and he needs it.
His longest one is 417 right now, and that's the one Achilles heel for Breggs in this tournament is that he doesn't hit the ball 440 feet very often. He's going to have to get a nice little favorable wind gust to get him out there.
This is a guy who says, I want to be the LeBron James of baseball. He's all over social media. He's extremely confident. He thinks that cameras should be everywhere. He literally thinks baseball players should be exposed in every way in a positive light, but he wants them everywhere.
He is great for the game. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's one of those guys that just exudes confidence. He plays with a huge chip on his shoulder. We love watching him in the field as well. Unselfish player. He moved over to shortstop, which is natural position when Carlos Correa got hurt. This is one of those guys, if I'm building a team, I want Alex Bregman to be right in the middle of my lineup. He's a special player.
He went to Albuquerque Academy, and when he was there, he was known as the athlete. This was the school in which his peers said, you got to have a backup plan. In case the whole athlete and sport and baseball thing doesn't work out, his response, there is no backup plan. This is what we are doing. And he and the rest of his support got him to Major League Baseball, and he's one of the best players, but he's going to be exit stage left here with 15.
He hit 16 home runs,
16.
And he's going home.
Yeah.
That just shows how impressive Joc Pederson's first round was. I mean, Alex Bregman has nothing to be ashamed of. Do not hang your head, Breggs, because 16 home runs is impressive. When we look at that level swing, I mean, if I'm going to teach my kids how to swing in 2019 in Major League Baseball with guys throwing 100 miles an hour and changing speeds, it's a simple approach. He doesn't use a big leg kick. He lets the pitcher provide the power. He just drops the head of that bat on it. And again, maybe not the best swing for a derby, but for 162 regular season games, I want to make that swing a carbon copy every single night.
15 home runs in the first round last year, 16 in this one. You saw the average distance was 387 feet. And we're not going to paint a broad brush over it, but you saw what a power-hitting left-hander can do versus a power-hitting and Bregman right-hander can do here. And there's a challenge there, and he is just gassed right now.
He is gassed, and it's a beautiful night. It's not 100 degrees out here. It's actually a lovely evening to be out there, you know, kind of watching it. But when you're swinging the bat, you do get hot. You do get tired, and you see Breggs is exhausted right now.
All right, so our next matchup, now that we've seen Joc Pederson move on, features Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Matt Chapman, who, of course, took the place of Christian Yelich, who's out with a bad back. There is Vlad Guerrero Jr. You know the name because most people that know baseball know the dad. He attended the 2004 Home Run Derby with his father in Houston. In 2007 in San Francisco, Vlad Guerrero Sr. won. He had 17 homers, but boy, back then, 2004, Guerrero had a bat in his hand, and he was destined for this. Dad could hit any pitch, whether it was over his head or literally beneath his toes, and it bounced hand-eye coordination like no one else.
To talk about how the game has changed over the last 10 years, when Vlad Sr. won in 2007, he won 3-2 in the final round.
Right.
We just saw 21 and 16 in the first round. That's just impressive.
20 years, 114 days. He's a baby. And 440 should not be a problem for Vlad Guerrero.
That might have hit the scoreboard in left field. I mean, you're going to see some amazing things tonight, but this guy, if I could watch one player hit batting practice for the next 15 years,
this is it.
At 20 years old,
right.
I'm going to watch this guy for a long time.
Well, he's just rolling along. He's already got one at 440, and he may have just hit his second one. That was 476.
This is insane. And here's a guy who, he's learning on the fly here. Yeah, I mean, his dad was a big leaguer, but he just got called up 2 months ago. He's going through the AL East, which is not easy for any young player, and he is embracing the spotlight, shining on a big stage here. Look at this ball. This ball's going to hit the scoreboard. Watch. Oh, my God.
And he's hitting moonshots. Here's a line drive. Doesn't get out. But, boy, you can see the power in this kid and what he's meant to Toronto. When they called him up as he calls timeout, we'll call a timeout as well. 2:48, he's sitting there with 7. Vlad Guerrero Jr. They opened up the ballpark early so people could come in and watch him take batting practice. He hit a ball to the 5th deck. Broke a window pane. Then he hit another one on the 5th deck, went off a railing and conked someone in the nose. He's hitting baseballs people don't see baseballs going.
Yeah, and I want the fans to notice his timing mechanism is a toe tap. You see a lot of guys with a big leg kick to try to generate power. He doesn't need that big leg kick to generate the power. Goodness, that's going to hurt somebody. He uses lightning quick hands. He keeps his hands high and he stands up tall, but he drops the head of the bat and uses the most incredible bat speed you'll see from a big guy. That's how he gets his timing. That's how he gets the backspin, and the ball goes 480 feet.
Now, see, there's a ball that will stay up in the air for a while, and as that one is going, the next one comes in. This is sort of a chance for people that don't see this kid very often. And remember, he didn't break camp with the team like Alonso did because he was hurt. This is the coming out party for Vlad Guerrero Jr. Look at that moonshot.
It is, and there's a lot of guys in baseball when you talk about who's the most exciting young prospect, and you're going to talk about different players can do different things, but from a pure power perspective, this guy might be the #1 power prospect that we've seen coming up as a 20-year-old in a long time.
Like father, like son, no, not really. Vlad Sr., the most home runs by round 5, 9, and 3. He's got 19.
I mean, he's about to hit 20, and he's got a long way to go. He's got $1.15 left, and he still has his 30-second bonus.
He doesn't appear tired.
No. Well, he's a big guy, and again, he practiced this. If anyone's in shape and ready for this event, it's Vlad Jr.
First career home run came on May 8th. Batted 5th the first game he played, and then the next night, Charlie Montoyo stuck him in the cleanup spot.
No pressure, kid. Hey, what's Matt Chapman thinking right now? He's like, I just got the call 3 days ago that I'm in the Derby. I'm all excited. I'm the #1 seed. I'm playing the 8 seed. I got to like my chances. And then Vlad Jr. comes up and here's moonshots, 470 feet. He's got 21 already.
And look, there were some people who were critical of Vlad Guerrero Jr. getting into this thing. There's money involved. He's got 8 homers, and you understand there's other aspects to this whole thing.
I'm not one of those guys criticizing this. Again, I want to watch this guy play. This is an exhibition of the greatest home run hitters in our game. And when you look at home run derby and you look at batting practice, this guy's got to be in the top 8.
I never thought that the Josh Hamilton 28 would be in jeopardy. This guy's going to have 30 seconds after this last pitch here, and that's gone. So he's going to have 20. He's going to need 5 homers to get 29.
Easily done. Absolutely. I mean, this guy is going to do something special in his career. We know he's going to be a great player, but look at the crowd. The crowd appreciates this thing.
We asked Mike Trout on SportsCenter when he's going to do a home run derby. If he's watching Vlad Guerrero Jr., he may not do one of these as long as that guy's doing them. Boy, there is just compact power in the Vlad Guerrero swing, and wave it, Pudge Fist.
Like he needs the help.
Wave it fair.
Polar Bear is one of those guys that's going to be aiming for that scoreboard as well. I mean, 476 feet's a long way. That's Vlad Jr.'s longest home run. I'm wondering if we can see 500 tonight.
Boy, I hear you, boy. Matt Chapman, Jim Chapman. Look, they went in with the attitude of dream come true. I think that's the way you go through this. See where you end up, but boy, you're dealing with a guy that's absolutely on fire.
And let's give batting practice pitchers a lot of credit in this derby. They know exactly where they want pitches to be thrown.
Tex.
He might be getting to 28. Here we go. We could be watching history tonight in Cleveland, boys and girls. Oh, my goodness.
Scoreboard watching. 28. Next one breaks a record.
That's got a chance. There's the record. 29.
30. Did that one get over at the end? Did he get 2? Vladimir Guerrero. We got 28 on the board, which would tie Josh Hamilton for most in a round, and now it's 29. He breaks the home run derby record for home runs in a round, which I never thought we'd see it.
You know what?
Because of the time.
I'm not necessarily surprised when you break down everybody's swing and you break down the amount of power that this guy generates. He can hit consistent home runs anywhere in the ballpark, but he got into a groove, these up and in pitches. Give the batting practice pitcher a lot of credit. And he was hitting the ball to straightaway left field just over and over again, hitting the ball out front, getting it up so he didn't have to lift it at all. A perfect round.
Oh, my gosh. How about the 2 starts tonight from Peterson with 21 and Guerrero 29? Watch the balls fly out to left, man. They were going 476 feet. We got some magenta bonus balls. 29 out of the 48. Woo! Marley Rivera with him.
Well, first of all, I just told John over here, did you know that was a new record?
I do now, 29. That's 5 more than we had in practice. That's unbelievable.
You told me this could happen, and here's the man. Vladi, ¿cómo pasó esto? How did this happen? How special is this for you? ¿Cuán especial es este momento para ti? El nuevo récord de una primera ronda.
Bueno, me siento bien, ¿me entiendes? Fui con mente a dar 30.
Said he was focused on hitting 30. This is very important.
Y di 29, faltó 1. ¿Sabes? Pero, ¡woo! Cansado.
Vladdy's pretty tired. He's saying, I had 29, and here's Ronald Acuña Jr., the other really young play. There we go. But he wanted 30, but he got 29. 30 en la próxima ronda.
Siempre, en toda ronda voy en busca de 30.
There we go. He's looking for the next round for 30. Let's hear from Robbie.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, the idea that you set a bar at 30, he looks at that as a realistic goal.
That's impressive. And, you know, these guys grew up in high school and through the minor leagues trying to hit home runs in batting practice. And so when they get to the big leagues, they know that home runs are a huge part of the game. They've been hitting these tanks in BP for a long time.
All right, so we got Chapman with his dad on the mound. Let's do a little history for the fathers and sons that have competed in this event. Robinson Cano, he was the winner in 2011 with Dad Jose pitching. And, of course, last year, Bryce Harper. He was yelling at his dad to start grooving some pitches, and he did, and he ended up being the 2018 champ with his dad, Ron, who he gave the trophy to at the end. And now tonight, with a very imposing number, Jim and Matt Chapman here on Progressive Field try to match the 29 home runs that Vlad Guerrero Jr. just hit. That's a good start, and that one is hammered. Chapman having a huge year, by the way. 21 homers already, and a career high of 24.
And not wasting any time. And there's got to be just a great feeling for him. His first All-Star game in 3 seasons, known as a glove guy, one of the best fielding players at any position in Major League Baseball. He just hit one to center field here, too. You don't see a lot of guys trying to go deep to center. But Matt Chapman has turned himself into a power hitter. In today's day and age, all you need to make is small adjustments, and he made them this offseason to get the ball in the air a little bit easier and is now hitting balls all over the ballpark and home runs left and right.
Bonus, not a problem. We've got a couple over 440. There's one at 473. So for the guy that just hit 29 who's watching, I think Chapman's going to put up a big number, but boy, you have a guy that isn't used to throwing BP and somebody who found out, you know, within the last 24 hours he was even in this thing.
Yeah, well, and Matt Chapman's one of those guys that it doesn't look like he's swinging that hard until contact. He doesn't have a lot of lower body movement. He's got a very simple approach, but his hands are very quick, and at contact, he's creating a lot of torque and a lot of velocity coming off the bat. He consistently hits the ball as hard as anybody in baseball.
33 players have hit a ball 115 miles an hour or harder. Chapman is one of them, and the only 3 that are in the field tonight, Alonso and Josh Bell. Now, obviously, Guerrero's going to end up doing that at some point, but he's one of them. And he has generally hit most of his home runs to center or right field, 28 of the 59 career homers.
And you got to see Dad here is pulling a few of these pitches. Now he's trying to go in. Middle in is where you need to go. You're not going to be trying to hit opposite field home runs here. If he can consistently throw the ball middle in, Matt will get into a groove.
Now the one prior to that landed. This was a kid, Matt Chapman, again, for the people with boys and girls at home who were watching. He weighed 110 pounds as he entered high school. He was about 5'2", 5'3", and he went from that as a freshman to a 6'1" junior that weighed about 195 pounds. He was undrafted out of high school. So he goes to college, and he becomes a monster. And now he's one of the best players in Major League Baseball. Takes a timeout with 9. Buster Olney is here and with us. Buster.
Yeah, Robbie, as Tex said, Matt Chapman found out just about 24 hours ago about this event. He told me he got a text message on Sunday morning, thought about it briefly, and said, yeah, absolutely, let's get this done. And he, of course, is in the event because Christian Yelich had a sore back and decided to go out. Christian Yelich is going to hit leadoff for the National League in the All-Star game. He said he's good to go with that. His concern was the volume of swings in the home run derby. He wants to make sure he's good to go for the Brewers in the second half, Carl.
Right, and hindsight being 20/20, his other concern could have been Vlad Guerrero Jr. 29 home runs. And that's who Chapman is trying to chase down.
Chapman's an interesting story. His high school teammate was Nolan Arenado.
Yeah.
Imagine being that high school coach.
2 years behind him. Yeah, he had to play behind him, and he couldn't play, obviously, third base. Couldn't play shortstop. They had to move. Chapman ultimately moved to third base in college. But yeah, Nolan Arenado, they were the 2 Platinum Glove winners last year. Played at the same high school. Jim, by the way, is not your batting practice pitcher. He, in fact, works at a company called Pro Forma, which is a printing company, and his mom is a school teacher. Rick Vanderhook, who, of course, is the great college baseball coach where Chapman went, used to make fun of the kids that came out of Orange County. And he said about Chapman, you're the toughest kid I know from Orange County. You couldn't have come from Orange County. The
Orange County is lovely.
It's beautiful.
But it's an Orange County night tonight.
It is an Orange County night.
Well, Matt did a great job. 13 home runs right now, and he's going to get 30 seconds more. But Vlad Jr.'s 29 is just, it's got to be tough to even start your round and know that you have to hit 30 home runs to move on.
Well, the current A and former Cal State Fullerton great done with 13. It was going to be a tall order to catch Vlad Guerrero Jr. So Guerrero Jr. and Joc Pederson, they advance and they will face each other on the left side of the bracket. Ends up with 13 home runs.
He's still got the 30-second bonus right now. Try to get 16 more. that might be tough. But have fun with it, guys.
And they are. It's great.
This might be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Enjoy every second of it. Ace fans are used to seeing their guys in the home run derby. McGuire's done it 5 times. Cespedes won it twice in a row.
Yep.
And to tell you how much the game has changed, it wasn't just Vlad Sr. winning with 3 back in 2007. For a 5-year period in the mid-90s, every winner in the final round hit 3 homers.
Great.
I mean, it is a completely different event now with how many home runs guys are having to hit just growing up to get drafted or to move up the ladder in the minor leagues. You better show the exit velocity. You better show the launch angle. You better show an ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark, because big league teams are not calling up slap hitters anymore.
He brushed him back on the last 2. Bob Melvin, we know you're out there watching because Dad was pitching to son. I know you're a little nervous, and you probably paced a little bit, but you should be proud, and I'm sure you are, of what Matt and Jim Chapman did tonight. They got beaten by a guy we can't wait to see in the next round, Vlad Guerrero Jr. All right, so it is Peterson and Guerrero Jr. that have moved on to the semifinals on the left side of the bracket. Right side's turn, Josh Bell, big fella from Pittsburgh. Acuña Jr. getting set to step in as well. We continue with the T-Mobile Home Run Derby. Ronald Acuña Jr. and Josh Bell. He has gone to the Allegheny a couple of times. I don't think he's getting to Lake Erie tonight, but we'll see. The Derby rolls on with Carlos Santana and the Polar Bear. He's going to try to take down the hometown hero as we continue from Cleveland at the Home Run Derby. This 2019 T-Mobile Home Run Derby is brought to you by T-Mobile. Catch America's game on America's network. And in part by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. We are in Cleveland, where it's a family affair tonight. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear with superior performing tires that knock it out of the park. Goodyear is more driven. Quite a show. Vlad Guerrero breaks the single round record. He goes for 29. He advances, so does Joc Pederson. He lands the plane with 21. Sets up this matchup. Ronald Acuña Jr. and Josh Bell of the Pittsburgh Pirates, two of the young superstars in the game. A 6 seed and a 3 seed. As we get set to watch Acuña Jr., we got a second broadcast of tonight's game. That's over on ESPN2. Our good friends Mike Petriello, Eduardo Perez, and Jason Benetti. Let's check it out. StatCast AI, powered by AWS.
Ravi, thank you so much. We are excited to bring you Ronald Acuña Jr. and everybody tonight in our own way with some exit velocity and some launch angle, but reasons for it as well, and why it can help you understand what we're seeing, this largesse, this major home run era. And it started with Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Yeah, over here on our Nerd Show, we were trying to break down these guys before the show, and you can see here, this is showing the home run launch angle and home run distance. And we saw beforehand that Acuña was going to hit the ball harder than anybody, farther than anybody. We saw that Bregman was a little softer, a little lower. That's kind of what happened there. We've sort of gone as expectations so far.
Ronald Acuña Jr. Eduardo, what are you seeing from him in terms of where he wants the ball based on his slugging in the first half?
Well, based on the slugging, it's a lot of the red area that you see the heat maps. He wants it on the middle end part of the plate. This is the thing. Right now, what we're seeing from Tomas Perez, who's throwing the batting practice to him, so we're sitting middle away. We're seeing that he wants to hit it straight away center. During batting practice, the wind was blown out to right field. Completely different now. The wind has died down. We've seen a lot of balls hit to left field. I say throw him a little bit more middle in and let him start launching pull side just like that.
See him testing center field now to left. Action all night long on ESPN and ESPN2. For now, back to Ravi.
Hi, thank you. You can see Acuña Jr. telling Roberto Perez, hey, I need it in. He's pointing to his chest. That's what he's telling him, right?
Well, pull side is where you're going to make your money in a derby like this. And Ronald Acuña is one of those guys, if you break down his in-game swing, it's pretty perfect. And so we know he hits the ball far. We know he hits the ball hard. Once he gets into a little bit of a rhythm here, he can put up some huge numbers.
He's hitting some real high. His launch angle has been very, very high. He does have that 30-second bonus already earned. I know you're an Atlanta guy. There's so much excitement around this Atlanta team, and Acuña and Albies are at the center of it.
Yeah, and Brian McCann has been a big league veteran, played with a lot of great players, Chipper Jones. He thinks Ronald Acuña could be the best player he's ever played with. I mean, obviously, he's got years and years to prove it, but when you look at what he can do in the field, at the plate, his bat speed, he is a perfect player right now, and he's only getting better with maturity.
His dad, Ronald Acuña Sr., I knew how to play, he said. I had the talent, but didn't necessarily care about lifting the weights, nor did I have the best attitude on the field. He was really the driving force behind Ronald Acuña Jr. succeeding. Said, I should have made it. Junior's going to be a star, and so far he is a star. He's called timeout. We'll take it with him. He's got 11 with a $141 still to go. Boys and girls, choose any Major League Baseball ballpark and see how many dingers you can hit as your favorite MLB sluggers. Smoke the competition, dominate in your own customized home run derby. Download free on iOS and Android at MLB.com/HRDgame. Hi, Tex. We got 11. We got a $141 to go. Where are we going here?
He's on a nice pace, man. I think he's going to get over 20. And as we've seen in the first few rounds, guys are tending to hit more after their break. And as long as the batting practice pitcher is throwing it in there, you hear Eddie Perez talk about that middle in. If he continues to hit middle in, Acuña's going to hit a lot of home runs in this second half of the round.
This one driven straight to center field, and that's a big home run into the bushes out here. 450 feet. Buster?
Yeah, and you guys have been talking about how this event is so different than it used to be. The preparation, the advice, the counsel they get. Freddie Freeman told me that, who did the event last year, said what he told Ronald Acuña Jr. was, look, when you practice without the cage because it gives you the perspective that you absolutely need. And he also told him, take your time. Make sure that you're not overdoing it swing to swing.
He's starting to go center and right center.
This just shows his talent. I mean, he's not necessarily trying to hit the ball over there. He's just hitting it where it's pitched. And that just shows when everyone talks about his talent and his ability to manipulate the strike zone, and he knows exactly what he's doing in the batter's box. We're seeing it here in batting practice when he's flicking balls out to right field like this for home runs.
Yeah, I mean, that one was not hit square, and not like Aaron Judge a few years ago. Carried forever. Here's another one, dead central. That's gone.
And if you look at these National League teammates here on the first base side, they are in awe of the opposite field power that Acuña's showing right now.
21 years young, the youngest to ever win this thing. Juan Gonzalez, who was 23 when he won it in '93, beat Ken Griffey Jr., a three-time winner of this event. Yeah, this is power to all fields from Acuña. The crowd is appreciative of the 21. And now it's 22. That's going to get out of here.
I tell you, Vladdy was impressive to watch. Woo! But the home runs to the opposite side to center field, that might have been a more impressive complete round for Ronald Acuña Jr.
I love the reaction of the players and those that go over and greet him. We're blowing bubbles. We are Ken Griffey Jr. all over again. We're blowing bubbles.
And Ken Griffey Jr. to me is the godfather of the home run derby. I think he really put this event on the map. Wearing the backwards hat. Vlad Jr.'s loving it. This is fun.
And you can kind of feel certain players taking over a little bit.
Well, there's no doubt. And we talk about the young game. This game in 2019 has become a power pitching, power hitting, and young players taking over. 23 home runs right now. He's got a 30-second bonus. He could get to that 29 mark.
National League rookie last year, Ryan Howard, the only player to win the Derby as a reigning rookie of the year. So Acuña's going to try to do that. He'll duck the bling back inside the unit. Were you a big bling guy when you were playing?
Oh, huge bling.
You were a big bling.
I was also big on hitting 2 home runs in the Derby when I did it. It's a little different. I didn't bring my own batting practice. Pitchers kind of showed up and started taking batting practice. It didn't work out for me.
Well, there's big Josh Bell. He's getting ready, talking to some of the fans that are inside some of the suites. A packed house here. This is a huge ticket to have here in Cleveland. I mean, they have literally packed the place.
Well, and Cleveland's a baseball town. I mean, when this place opened a couple decades ago, they had 6 straight years of sellouts. 455 straight sold-out games. That's so impressive. They had some really good teams back then as well.
Oh, the 95 Indians, the World Series against the Atlanta Braves, talent galore. Manny and the rest of that crew. Albert Bell. We saw Baerga here in the softball game, which we'll see later tonight. You talk about sound. If you listen at home, sounds a little different.
There's no doubt. There's an explosion off the bats of these guys that is kind of unmatched. And you go to any big league ballpark, you hear the crack, but it's a little different with these guys. There's another one of those right center home runs. That's not easy to do.
So we'll take a magenta ball and rip one to left, and that will end it. 24 homers. Will they count that one? Because
25.
That one, no, that came up just short. Ronald Acuña Jr., boy, like Peterson and Guerrero, how about it? I mean, awfully impressive. And again, they're tired, but they're not gassed. The guys that end up losing are the ones that look a lot more tired.
There's no doubt. It's tough. And when you look at Ronald Acuña's swing, it's built to be complete and to be repeatable. And so he's not out there just trying to do one thing. He's hitting the ball where it's going. I mean, look at this spray chart. He's hitting the ball all over the ballpark. Now, the ones that are going 450 plus, those are on pull side. But to be able to get 8 or 10 to center to right field, that's impressive.
Brian Snitker is manager. We saw Freddie Freeman go over there and give him a big hug. So the Braves are representing Dave Roberts as well. Jess?
All right, Cody. We're going to go shack some balls, guys. Out here, you got your boy Joc. He's done this before. You've done this before. What advice did you have for him?
I didn't have much advice. Like I said, he did it in 15. I did it in 17. He had 5 minutes to hit, which was the extra minute. So he's done even more than what we had to do. So he knows what he has to do to get it done.
It's got to feel good, though, to sit back, enjoy this. I mean, I'm making you come out and do a little bit of work, shack some balls during Josh Bell's at bat. But for you, this first half has been pretty epic. What's it been like for you?
It's been fun. It's definitely been more fun than the past, especially last year. Just enjoying every second of it, but it's still been a grind. So I'm grinding through the days where I don't feel good, and that's just kind of been the biggest thing.
This is going to be kind of cool. I'm going to switch sides so we can actually see the field. Josh's going to nail us, right? All right, so have you ever been out here during a derby, out in the field?
No, I've never been out here on the field. It's the first time for me, too.
Oh, this is kind of cool taking it in. I had Mookie Betts out here last year. We actually caught a couple balls. What do you think? Maybe rob a home run, kind of run around a little bit?
Josh hits the ball really hard, so we might want to pay attention here. He's starting to hit him hard right now.
All right. Ravi, we're going to pay attention out here.
He might hit balls in the second or third day.
Yeah, he may hit him out of this ballpark. There's one that's a huge shot to right field.
If I'm these kids in right field, I'm making sure I back up just a little bit because these line drives might hurt somebody.
How much does bat head speed, quick hands, you watch it, how much does that play a role here?
It's huge, and you look at Josh Bell, he's got an extremely short swing for a big guy. He's got that little hitch in his hands. If you look at his timing mechanism is that little hitch, and that creates a lot of bat speed. And for a guy that's a switch hitter, I know how hard it is to keep 2 swings right. His first half, the home runs, the RBIs, he's doing everything right now in the batter's box.
Waiting for that foul ball to land, basically right in front of the pitcher's L. For Josh Bell, who grew up in Dallas, Texas, he was a second-round pick in 2011. The Pirates gave him a huge signing bonus. This guy that's pitching to him is John Schwind, who ultimately was his best buddy through the minors. A 41st round pick in 2011. His last game, 2017. He's the assistant hitting coach with the Pirates AAA team in Indianapolis.
Right now, Josh is just a little quick. You see those line drive, hard ground balls to the right side. If he lets it get a little bit deeper, maybe hit a few to right center field, that'll get him. Let the ball travel a little bit more, backspin it, get in the air.
All right, so he and his buddy are going to just get together and talk. We got 4 so far. Got some work to do. We'll take a timeout with 2:33 on the clock. It's Ronald Acuña, who, if you watch the odds, by the way, with Acuña Jr., he started off somewhere around 11, 12 to 1, quickly rose to 5 to 1. And once again, those guys know something. We'll keep an eye on that guy. The hometown hero trying to do what Harper did last year in Frazier a few years ago. After the timeout, Bell hits a moonshot to right. Clearly capable of getting the 30 extra seconds.
Great story. Josh Bell's first career home run came in his second career at bat, a pinch hit grand slam. Second career at bat. Welcome to the show, kid.
No doubt. These two kids, this guy and Schwind, played at Class A West Virginia back in 2012. Bell tore his meniscus 2 weeks later. Schwind on the mound broke his arm. So they rehabbed every day together.
After a disappointing 2018 where Bell only hit 12 home runs, he really worked this offseason to stay tall, and it has really paid off for him. He uses that leverage by staying tall. I talked about his short, quick swing, and he gets direct to the ball, lets it get deep. You see now he's hitting some home runs to center field, right center field, letting that ball get deep. It's exactly what he needs to do.
He's starting to roll, and the ball's carrying out to right field right now. He's got his bonus of 30 seconds. What's a number here you want to get to before you get to the bonus?
I mean, I think you need to get to close to 20. I mean, 18, 19. You got to 25 to beat. You got 18, 19, 20 before you're done here. He's got a little bit over a minute. He's close to getting there.
Take a look at that pace tracker up in the upper right-hand part of that screen, and he's running a little behind pace. You see right now he's tracking at 18, not 25. Buster?
Hey, guys, before Josh Bell started his round, he actually counted off from home plate using his feet how close he wanted the BP pitcher, John Schwinn, to be. And John Schwinn's got to be a good 5 feet closer than any of the other guys who've been throwing in this event.
Tex, why would he want that?
Well, it's all just personal preference. There's a lot of guys that want it really close. There's a lot of guys that want their BP pitcher far away. I was a guy, I didn't want you too close because I wanted to try to mimic the game situation as much as possible. But when it's close, there's a better chance of you throwing strikes. And in a home run derby, if you're close to the guy at home plate and you're throwing the ball in the same spot every time, that's when you get into a rhythm.
Well, he's going to have to do some real work here in the next 14 seconds to make those last 30 count. And once again, he's grounded balls. That one's hammered.
Number 16, we have 5 seconds to go. We had to wait a long time for that one.
That one to come down. Got to get this one. And he does, which gets him to 17 with 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, I talked about Josh Bell standing up a little bit more. For a big guy, a lot of times those big guys have longer swings and they have a lot of holes in their swings. But as you can see, he's got an extremely short stroke. And as a switch hitter, he's got double the job to do in the box. As a lefty, it is pretty, man. I mean, he stands in the back of that box. He's got a little bit of a leg kick, a little bit of a hitch in the hands. But again, direct to the ball. This is a fun angle, and because you look at how deep he lets that ball get it. It's almost into his body, but because he's so quick, he can get to it.
Well, his dad, Ernest, who was a wide receiver in college, trained him, and they would play their own version of home run derby in the backyard growing up in Dallas. And if the ball went over a fence, they'd go out and get some dinner. That was the treat for Josh Bell. He's got to do some significant damage here. He's going to have 18 after that one leaves, on his way to 25 potentially. And that one didn't leave, so he's still at 17. Here's his dad, Ernest, and you can kind of see this dream dying right now on the vine.
Well, again, 17, I mean,
that's a great number.
We went in here thinking, 13, 14 is a nice round. These guys are blowing these numbers away.
Good round for Josh Bell, but he's beaten. And Ronald Acuña Jr. shows up with 25. He'll go over and celebrate and congratulate Bell, but it's Acuña Jr. who has moved on. A lot of people like Josh Bell. A lot of people.
Well, what's not to like? 6'4", 240. The guy's got an amazing first half of the season. I see why he was one of the favorites coming in here.
Alex Bregman is going to join us in just a couple of seconds, talk about what he has seen so far. We have seen 3 advance to the semifinals with 1 more first-round match to go, which will involve that guy, Carlos Santana. The Major League Baseball Players Trust and Kaboom teamed up for the 3rd consecutive year to build a playground. Constellation School's Old Brooklyn community. It's at elementary. It is in Cleveland, Ohio.
Opportunity to share our knowledge of baseball and the love of our game is one thing, but creating an opportunity for young people to just play is something that the guys have focused in on and that the Trust is excited about. This is the 3rd year now that we've been able to do it around the All-Star break. Again, something that the players are passionate about. We're grateful for the time that they committed. We're grateful for the school, and we're grateful to Kaboom, and something that we're looking forward to again next year.
Well, it's incredible what everyone's done to make this happen. We were very impressed with the imaginations of the children when they presented their projects. It was very impressive. They were very creative. They all seemed very excited. Everyone was very engaged and involved, so that was really cool and fun to see.
Carlos Santana and his wife very involved with helping design that playground. One of the great things the players and the Players Trust are doing. For more information, go to playerstrust.org. Time for Mr. Santana.
Can we talk about the energy in the stadium right now? I mean, Cleveland, again, a baseball town. They love their Indians. What a great story here for Carlos Santana. He got traded back to Cleveland this year. He became a U.S. citizen, and now he's the starting first baseman in his first All-Star game in his hometown and playing in the Derby. What a year for Carlos Santana.
And truly a hometown. He signed a 3-year, $60 million deal to go play with the Phillies, and whether he admits it or not, he missed being in Cleveland. Got traded to Seattle, never unpacked his bags, got sent here. The funny part of that story was Edwin Encarnacion, who was his teammate here in Cleveland, texted him when he got dealt to Seattle, said, "Enjoy Seattle." What happens is Encarnacion ends up in Seattle. Santana ends up here and retexts him, "You enjoy Seattle." Not that there's anything wrong with Seattle, but this guy clearly wanted to be playing here in Cleveland. So the round for Carlos Santana starts. And the crowd is already on its feet.
We're just waiting for that first home run. And here's a guy who, he's got kind of a long swing. There's a lot of action in his body, but in a home run derby, when the guys aren't going to be throwing the ball by you, that long swing is actually really good to get the ball up in the air, and he can cover that outside pitch. See a lot of guys wanting the ball really far in to pull it. He doesn't need the ball middle in to pull. He can cover that outside pitch.
30 seconds in, he still doesn't have a home run. He's hitting line drives. He's really known for a great eye at the plate. He's a big-time on-base guy, and now the crowd trying to help him. Buster?
So I talked to Carlos Santana over the weekend about where he likes to be pitched, and guys, he said high. He was the only guy among all the competitors I spoke with who said that very specifically, and you're seeing a lot of pitches down in the zone so far.
There's the first one. Let's see if that starts a little run. There goes number 2.
Break the ice a little bit. There's got to be some nerves for Santana being here in Cleveland. Once you break the ice, get off the schneid, they're going to start coming.
This one a towering shot to right field. That's going to come up short. And now with a line drive. He wears number 41 because his favorite player was, of course, the former Indian himself, Victor Martinez. Had a great career with Detroit. Catcher and third baseman coming up. Now a first baseman. Terry Francona loves him. Number 3.
He had a little bit of a disappointing last year in Philly, but he'll admit he got a little bit too pull happy. And here's another switch hitter in the field that it's very difficult to consistently hit from both sides of the plate, but he knows when he goes to center field a little bit more, it keeps him on the baseball.
You're hitting now in the home run derby. You've seen some of the other numbers. Does that get into your head a little bit?
There's no doubt, because you have a number in mind, like I need to get to here. I need to get to 15. I need to get to 18. We're seeing 21, 25, 29. It's a little daunting. I don't care how much time you have. I don't care about the 440 bonus. To hit 20-plus home runs in a home run derby is very difficult.
$1:41 to go. Santana's got 5. You ever seen a polar bear do warm-ups? There you go. Pete Alonso of the Mets. Play Ball, MLB's initiative to inspire all forms of baseball and softball participation, making play opportunities available and fun for everyone. To find a youth organization near you, go to playball.org.
So 3 host players have won the home run derby. Ryne Sandberg in 1990, Todd Frazier in 15, then last year Bryce Harper. Santana's trying to become the 4th here. And everybody in this stadium is rooting for this guy. After the break, we've seen guys get on runs. Let's see if he can do it.
We see pitchers throw 98 miles an hour from 60 feet, 6 inches away. Well, what is a batting practice pitcher throwing?
I mean, he's throwing in the 60s. Now, when you move him up, it might be closer to an equivalent of 80. But again, if you throw a major league hitter a ball in the same place over and over again, it doesn't matter how hard or soft it is, they're going to get locked in. And when you see guys hitting 20, 25, 30, it's because the batting practice pitcher is doing a really good job of being consistent.
Right.
And sometimes the batting practice pitcher is even more important than the contestant.
All right, Carlos needs another one to go 440 to get the extra 30 seconds. He's got one of those. And the line shots are good for 1, but they're not going to get him that 30. So he's got about 35 seconds to really launch one.
And especially since he's facing Pete Alonso, you got to think Alonso's going to be in that 20-plus range. He's going to be hitting some bombs. He definitely needs that 30-second bonus.
There's that high pitch that he likes, and he sends one soaring towards right that will not get out.
Carlos looks like he's huffing and puffing a little bit. Now remember, host players do a lot of extra things at the All-Star game. He might already be exhausted. I mean, it's tough to be the man at the All-Star game and do the Derby.
That one got out. Let's see one go 440. Rip one here. I don't know if it's going to be 440. It is out of here, and that's the number that Pete Alonso is going to shoot for. 13 home runs for Carlos Santana.
13 home runs is nothing to sneeze at, but I got to think that Pete Alonso in this next round is going to be at 13 pretty quickly. If the first few rounds were any indication, being a right-handed hitter is not that big of a detriment in this format here.
Make room, make room. Here comes the polar bear. Here comes Pete Alonso. Make room for him. He's coming out. A little bit more on this guy. Todd Frazier gave him the nickname Polar Bear, and he has absolutely taken New York by storm. He led the minors with 36 homers last year, double in AAA, and he has just rolled on since. He's already shattered Darryl Strawberry's Mets record for home runs by a rookie. His 30 homers are tied for the second most by a rookie before the All-Star break in baseball history, trailing McGuire 33 and 87. Aaron Judge is 30 2 years ago. And all Pete Alonso is on a pace to do is challenge McGuire's full season rookie record of 52. As he steps in, we welcome in our buddy Alex Bregman. How you doing?
Doing great. That was a lot of fun. Great atmosphere here in Cleveland tonight. But contemplating a home run derby retirement.
Is that right? You're going to shut it down?
Contemplating it. I'm not 6'4".
I know, but that's what makes you great. You love this challenge, and then you see Acuña Jr. and Vlad Guerrero, and you're like,
Can you just send out on your YouTube channel, just BP, just every BP, just send it out so we can watch it, because we still love watching you take BP.
That was a lot of fun. Oh, my God. Vladdy Jr., are you kidding me?
And right? Acuña, I mean, these guys are 20, 21 years old. Maybe it's just a young man's game. I mean, you got Pete Alonso being a rookie here. Maybe you just got to be a rookie.
Acuña's a superstar, man. He is an absolute superstar.
So we see Pete Alonso here, 30 home runs as a rookie in that ballpark, too. How impressive is that for you?
So impressive. We got to see him in spring training this year, and he was blasting balls right center, left center. He uses the whole field, and just to see him take pitches down and away out to right center is the most impressive thing.
The crowd is cheering here because obviously Alonso is competing against Santana. How important is that first one, do you think, Alex?
So important. Last year in D.C., my first swing I hit out and it calmed the nerves completely.
And how aware are you of the number you're shooting for? How aware is Alonso of 13?
He's super aware of it. He knows he's got to get to 13, and you get a little bit more of the nerves as you get closer to it.
Your guy Verlander today, did you see what he said about the ball? Said it's definitely a juice ball. Is the baseball juice this year?
I don't know. I guess if I'm hitting homers, it's got to be juice.
Is there a difference? You feel them every day.
I don't know. I think the game's changing though. The ball, the pitchers are pitching up in the zone, and offensive players. The one thing that we want to do is have a high OPS, which is drive the ball and walk. So getting on base, hitting the ball for a high, and hitting the ball far.
Well, I think there are less singles, there are less base hits. Pitchers don't mind giving up solo home runs. I mean, a guy would much rather give up a solo home run than give up 5 or 6 straight hits and get a 3 or 4 run big inning.
And I'll tell you this, nobody pitches inside really as much anymore. People used to pitch inside a lot more, and now guys are hanging out over, diving, trying to hit the ball to the yard. So I don't know. I wasn't around when JV started, so I couldn't answer that question, but I don't know.
We got 2 at 452 feet, so he's got his 30-second bonus, and he's...
That's something I've never sniffed, a 30-second bonus.
He hasn't really hit his groove here, but you see these home runs to center field. Once he does, I don't think 13 is going to be a problem at all.
That ball just went over the trees in center field.
Yep.
The second row of trees. There's 2 rows of trees out there.
All right, quick timeout here. He's sitting at 6. He still needs 7 more. He's got 1:44 on the clock. Alonso continues, and you are the social media guy. You said you want to be the LeBron James of baseball.
No.
You don't want to be a LeBron James.
No, what I had said was that I want to open up a school for kids like LeBron did.
Oh, okay.
And I have a charity, AB for Autism, and hopefully one day we're going to raise enough money to open up a school for autistic children in Houston, Texas.
Good for you.
But I do love watching LeBron play basketball. I'll tell you that.
Alonso's got a $120. He's the favorite of many, and he's just a little more than halfway there. And to your point, Tex, he's not in any groove. I'm not sure the pitching is being grooved. Morgan's pulling a lot of these pitches.
Yeah, and listen, once he does get in a groove, he can hit 4 or 5 home runs in 15 seconds. That one's a little foul. He's got the time. He's got the power. I think he just needs to settle himself down a little bit and get back to making solid contact because the ball will go.
That ball's hammered.
That's a line
Watch
drive.
out, kid.
Oh. The next one's hammered a little higher.
That just hit the scoreboard.
Most impressive hitter that you've seen? Not here tonight, but just in general, Alex? Who was that?
Number 27 for the Los Angeles Angels.
Fair point. Mike Trout. If he did this, would he win it?
I think if it ever goes to Philly, Mike Trout will win it.
Not L.A. next year?
If it was at the Angels ballpark.
Right.
I think he'd win it wherever he did it.
Alonso just hit his 13th here. All he needs is one more to move on, and he doesn't even have the 30-second bonus. There it is.
There it is.
He doesn't even need the 30-second bonus.
He knows it.
Well done.
It's gone.
And he's getting booed. That's the Cleveland fans, man. That's why you love them. That's why you love them.
You've had family at just about all of your significant events. How important is that for Alonso?
That's so awesome.
How great is that?
That is so awesome. And now the guy throwing BP to him gets to relax.
That is so much fun to watch, by the way. He didn't even get that one. No. But he still knew it was gone. So here's a guy with a very simple swing. Because he's so strong, he doesn't need to do a lot of things in the box. And, Breggs, I look at your swing as well. You let the pitcher provide the power. You know if I square that ball up, my hands are quick enough. If I can backspin it, it's going to go.
Backspin to the pull side in the air.
And he's one of those guys, anywhere he hits it. Exactly. He's a little bit bigger than you are.
14 homers, 466 feet, the maximum that traveled 112 off the bat.
Wow. That's crazy.
That 466 to center at the Progressive sign, that was the best one of the day.
The one over the trees?
Oh,
the one over the forest.
Oh, my God. Have you ever seen a ball hit there in a game here?
No, absolutely. Actually, David DeLucci hit one of the longest balls ever into those trees. We thought that was impressive.
Wow. Just consider the retirement, but don't retire from the home run derby.
If it comes back to Houston, I would love that.
Get the Crawford boxes going. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks.
Thanks, Rex.
That's Alex Bregman. He's out. All right, we move from the first round to the semifinals. Alex will watch as Joc Pederson takes aim at that right field wall in those bleachers against this guy who put on a show and broke a record with 29 homers in round number 1. We got a Final Four that may shatter records. We've already had 148 in the first round. The prior record was 128. Peterson, Vlad, Pete Alonso, and Ronald Acuña Jr. With more on Ronnie, here is Marley.
Well, and Ronald was telling me something. Tú me dijiste que era lo que iba a pasar en la final, so what's going to be the final?
Vladimir Guerrero and Acuña Jr. in the final.
That's it? It's going to be Vladimir Guerrero. You guys believe this? Venezuela is supporting over here. Vladimir Guerrero and Acuña in the final.
That's it. It's going to be there. They're going to be there. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, that's it. Tomas, was that pretty fun to throw in there?
Yeah. A little nervous, but it's okay.
There we go. So there you have it. Ronald, ¿qué tú crees? ¿Va a ser la final entonces? Y los dos más jovencitos, the two youngest guys are going to be in the final. You really believe this?
Estaremos ahí en la final. Dominicana.
We're going to be there in the final, Venezuela and the Dominican Republic. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Marley. Excellent. I know Pete Alonso will have something to say about that. So will Joc Pederson. He'll be batting second. Vlad Guerrero Jr. ready to step to the plate off a round in which he hit 29 home runs.
What will Vladdy do
Big boy has power indeed. Dad not here tonight, but Vlad Guerrero has his own power. And he must be thrilled watching this show. So here we go with the semifinal round. Gets a little serious now. You see him just point a little more in. And in fact, that one may have jammed him off the barrel. And that's gone.
You would think that guys would be a little bit fatigued after the first round, but the numbers will show you historically guys hit just as many home runs in the second and third rounds, if not more, because I feel like they're a little bit more relaxed and they know what they have to do to move on.
Oh. Heading towards the scoreboard up there in left field, and it hit way off about midway through that scoreboard for a 400. And here's another one in that direction. He's definitely put on the most impressive power show tonight.
And Vlad Sr., when he played in batting practice, he wasn't a guy that was trying to work the ball the other way and let it get deep. From the very first swing, he was going deep. And you see that with Vlad Jr., it's like he was born to hit home runs.
Yes.
And you knew at a young age, I played with Vlad Sr. With the Angels. He talked about his son. He knew he was going to be a stud from a very young age.
He got 30 in him? Does he have 30 in him?
I could easily see it, absolutely.
Calls timeout, 2:39, and a great start here in the semifinal round. Peterson's waiting. Want to dress like an all-star? Visit the official online shop of Major League Baseball, MLBshop.com. Find the largest selection of on-field all-star game jerseys and caps, authentic T-shirts, collectibles, and more. Suit up like your favorite all-star at MLBshop.com. Vlad Guerrero back after a breather and launching more home runs to left.
And right now he's on pace for 27. But again, the easy pop. It doesn't look like he's swinging hard up there. The ball's just jumping off his bat.
Another one into the seats and left, and here goes another one. Buster?
Yeah, so I talked to Vladdy the other day with some translating help from our friend Marley, and I asked him about his batting practice. He said, first round I try to hit to right field, and then after that I hit it all fields. And I said, well, do you have a home run round? And he sounded a little exasperated. He said, I try to hit home runs every round.
Yes. That's the old take a pitch until you're in scoring position. And then the guy comes back after popping out in the first pitch. Why did you swing at that? Well, I was in scoring position. That's how Vlad thinks, that he is putting on a show.
He really is. He hit the most impressive home run I've seen all year. It was in Toronto against Zach Britton. He took a 96-mile-an-hour two-seamer at his feet and hit a home run, a line drive into the second deck.
These are massive shots. And the crowd is on its feet. They know they're seeing something special. 30 is absolutely in the target for Vlad.
On pace for 34 right now. He's actually taking a little bit of time off right now. He needs to take a breather. Look at him. He's already got he's got a minute and 20 seconds left, and he's already got 20 home runs.
There's another one. You mentioned Zach Britton, by the way. In Zach Britton's first spring training, 2011, he was with Vlad's dad. First pitch he throws to Vlad's dad in his last year, he drills him in the foot with a slider. But Vlad's dad learns that Britton is one quarter Dominican. So he grinds on him to learn how to speak Spanish. He ultimately meets Vlad Guerrero Jr., and you mentioned it, years later, gives up the home run to Vlad Guerrero Jr. Those two are very close.
And Britton even said, like, I was surprised. I've never seen a guy hit that pitch for a home run.
24, and he still has 1 minute left with a bonus, and these balls to left are massive.
This is something special. I think the most impressive round I ever saw was Aaron Judge in Miami.
Yes.
This is Judgian right now.
It is. And he's not spraying it. Every ball is being pulled to left field, and we've made all sorts of big deals out of that 19-foot wall. That doesn't even exist.
No. When you think about what these guys know how to do, it's lift the ball nowadays. That high wall has nothing. It is not a problem at all.
He didn't even want to swing at that one, and he hits this one all the way to left center field. And a little shot. He's got 30 seconds to get 3. You know that 30 is in his head. You know it's there. He matches the number on the uniform. How appropriate. Yes, big boy has power.
And all day tomorrow, nothing against the actual All-Star game, but you are not going to hear the crowd get into the game tomorrow like you have tonight. This crowd has been great. Other than them booing Pete Alonso, they have been awesome.
20 years, 114 days. He is certainly trending towards winning this thing and becoming the youngest to ever do it. Born for home run derbies. 56 homers so far, second most in a derby all time. Second most in a derby all time already.
Look at Joc's going, man, I should have gone first, man. Why did I have to follow this guy?
Well, he said he wanted to get 30 in round one. He sits here with 27 and 23 seconds to go. There goes 28. There's 29. Tex puts his head on the desk. One more gets him 30.
8 seconds.
Uh-oh.
5 seconds.
4, 3. Go get it!
There it is!
Go get it!
Woo! Wow!
He didn't get it!
He got to 30, though. That's impressive.
Matching that first round. We got a scoreboard here which says 30. Now they've just
29.
taken one off.
Okay.
Back-to-back rounds of 29 home runs for Vlad Guerrero Jr. My God.
He's just going to save his 30 round for the finals.
You might see it. That is incredible. Look what he's done. Breaks the record in the first round, matches the record. And hey, he's going to try to beat Giancarlo Stanton's 20 in the final round.
That is such a pretty swing. Oh my goodness.
How excited are they in Toronto right now? You got Biggio, Bichette, and that guy.
Look at Nolan Arenado being like, hey, Joc, you better bring it, buddy.
So you got the 29 homers with the 468-foot maximum distance. The yellow ones are the shorter ones. The red ones are the ones that go over 440. Oh, that is just like you're born to do this.
Good luck, Joc.
Yeah, I had Joc in this thing. I'm not feeling great about it right now. But you never know. Jess?
Yeah, talking to Joc, you guys, and BP, and then again right now. First of all, he's watching Vlad going, I don't even know right now. But he did say, he's like, something I learned last time I did the Derby is I took it way too seriously. He's like, I'm just going to have fun. And the fact that I'm going against 29 home runs, he's like, it's going to just allow me to settle in, smile, and enjoy it.
Listen, Joc plays in L.A. He's been in 2 straight World Series. This guy doesn't get rattled. He's got that California cool to him from Palo Alto. So we can talk about how he needs to hit 30 or 29 to tie Vladdy. But listen, if anybody can do it, Joc Pederson's the guy.
Well, he's off to a really good start here as he's got 3 quickies. And, you know, he's going to, it just feels like he's going to get to a number where he's going to look up and say, you know what, I have a chance here. I have a chance. And then the intensity is going to ratchet up because he's pounding balls right now. He's got 1 at 440, and he is hammering the baseball.
Again, I'm looking at this right field porch, and when you get up close to that second deck, you know it's an absolute bomb.
Got to keep rolling. He's got his bonus now. This one to dead central, and they're standing up waiting for it to get over the wall, and it does. There's another one hooked down the line, just foul. That's a fair one.
This is getting exciting. Joc's in a groove right now. That ball up and in. He feels really good about it. Dino Ebel's doing a really great job pitching to him.
2:45, so still a little time before a timeout. You'd like to get to 15 before you call the timeout. Get halfway there. That's a pop-up, but he's running out of a little gas right now.
Joc's not going to topspin many balls, so even if he just clips one a little bit with that backspin, the ball's going to go. He's going to lift it. No problems getting the ball out of the ballpark. As soon as it leaves the bat with Joc Pederson, you know it's out.
That one is going down the line. Joc Pederson is right in that wheelhouse for 29.
He's in a great spot right now. Hasn't used his timeout either.
He is right in that zone where 29 is realistic with 2 minutes and 30 seconds with that bonus to go. And now he calls timeout. He's right there. He is right there. Timeout at the Derby. And yes, Joc is the given name. His dad liked it. His dad played for Rod Dado at USC, and he called everybody Tiger. So his brother's name is Tiger. So he's got Joc and Tiger. And, of course, the brother, Champ. Pace Tracker's got him at 30.
He's right for 30. Champ looks nervous. He's like, hey, brother, you got to get going here, buddy. Keep up the pace. Let's do this.
Go ahead, Buster.
You guys talked the other day about how Joc Pederson wanted Johnny Washington, who's an instructor with the Padres, to throw to him tonight. Padres didn't get permission, and so Joc on Saturday actually held auditions for Dino Ebel and Jose Vizcaino, and after Vizcaino threw to him, he said, you know what, you throw too hard. I'm going with Dino Ebel, who's done this event twice. In 2007, he was the guy who threw to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and in 2015, Albert Pujols.
He's hitting a couple high, and they're coming up a little short. And he's sitting there now, and that one's going to get out. He's going to have 18 home runs. And there's 19 Tex. This is within reach here.
Yeah, this is not too big of a stage for Joc Pederson. He was a runner-up back in 2015. Hit a lot of huge home runs the last few years for the Dodgers in the playoffs, in the World Series. And he's got his whole National League teammates here on the side rooting for him.
They're all up.
He's climbing the mountain, boys. He is climbing the mountain.
Needs to get to 29. Pops one up. He still's got the 30 seconds to go with the near minute. Another pop-up. If I'm him, how are you feeling if you're him right now?
I gotta feel good. I gotta feel a little tired though, because he's swinging a lot. This is his second round, but as long as he's making solid contact, the ball's gonna go.
What do your arms feel like at this point? What's tired?
But you know what? It is complete adrenaline at the end of these rounds. No matter what you're doing, your body might feel heavy, but all you need to do is touch it, and it's going to go.
24 needs 29, and it just looks a little
slowing
tired.
down a little bit.
Yeah,
just a little bit here. Dino Ebel's doing his job. He's doing a great job.
25. Boy, we're going to have a tremendous 30 seconds. He's 4 shy of tying Vlad Guerrero.
He's in a good spot right now. That ball's going to go.
That one's going to count, too, if it goes.
Joc's in a good spot.
Oh, boy.
He is feeling really good about himself right now.
And they are shocked over there with Vlad Guerrero Jr.'s 29. Remember, he wanted 30.
We're just going to have records broken over and over again.
So, seriously, is this a baseball thing? Is it a launch angle thing? Why are we shattering records?
Well, first of all, the baseball is jumping. I mean, everybody, there's no doubt that the ball is going further. And again, these guys are taking the home run derby seriously. They understand what they're supposed to do. They're practicing. They're trying to get into a rhythm. They're trying to get into a groove. This is not an exhibition. These guys are out here to win. They got $1 million on the line. They got a national audience. There's millions of people worldwide watching this thing. This is a great event.
He looks up into the crowd, and a huge group standing up. He pointed. He winked at it. You saw his brother Champ out there. As much as Joc Pederson is looked up to by Champ, Joc will say Champ is his hero. He needs 2 to tie in the next 30 seconds. And there he is. Brother Champ.
What a great family. Baseball family. These guys love their baseball. They love L.A. Going to the World Series 2 years in a row has been really cool for the Petersons.
Oh for 2. 0 for 3.
Getting under a little bit.
20 seconds.
There you go.
28. 29. He's tied. He looks over to the Guerrero side and lines one. He's got 8 seconds. That may do it. He hits 30 in the round to beat him. Joc Pederson, 30 to win it and knock out Vlad Guerrero Jr.
Wait. They're off on the main scoreboard. He finished with 29. So the main scoreboard is different than what we're seeing at home on ESPN. I think the 29 on the ESPN telecast is right, and now they just fixed it on the scoreboard. So we tied here, Carl.
29's the number. Boy, I had 27, 28, 29.
And you were right. The main scoreboard here in Cleveland was a little bit off. It's been off a few times here. And so everyone in the stadium was going nuts, but he did not hit 30. There's going to be a minute playoff here. This is going to be fun.
So Peterson takes a break. We're going to have our first 1 minute playoff of the night. So just a straight minute.
Over. He looks exhausted.
We never had 29 home runs, it seems now, and this night it's become commonplace.
Yeah, and to finish my thought, the balls are going further. But again, when I was a young kid, I was told, don't try to hit home runs in batting practice. Spray the ball around. You need to prove to everybody that you're a pure hitter, that you can hit it all over. Now, these guys are trained from a very young age to hit the ball in the air and hit home runs. So when they get to the big leagues, you look at the quality of pitchers that you're facing. You look at the quality of relievers you're facing every night. They're saying, hey, guys, I have to hit home runs to score runs here. I'm not going to get 10 singles off of Justin Verlander. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
So I have to go for the fences.
All right, take a look at the rules again now that we are tied. And we have, by the way, had 4 25-plus home run rounds. First time we've had multiple 25-plus home run rounds. We've had 4 of them. You now have a 1 minute at bat, no clock stoppage. And if we're tied after this, a swing off of 3 swings per batter. It's incredible that Guerrero's done what he's done in the first 2 rounds. It's unbelievable that Peterson was able to match that.
Yeah, and we're going to look at Vlad. Just keep doing what he's doing. This might hit the camera up there over the Miller light can.
That one climbed over the wall.
Oh, my goodness.
3 for 3.
One of the first ground balls we've seen from Vladdy.
And you're seeing
that one's gone.
Our scoreboard here is just adding on to the 29. There's another one down the line. That leaves. That's like Albert Bell territory. Remember Albert Bell used to hit him here?
Oh, man. Well, apparently there's been one guy to hit the ball off the scoreboard in the game. It was Mark McGwire back in the day against Oral Hershiser. And they put a big bullseye up there for Oral the next day to show how far that ball was hit.
Started with 29. There goes another one. So he's got 36 in this round with 6 on the clock. There's another one.
.36, okay.
We got 37 on our board here.
Can we get the scoreboards right?
Started with 29 and he adds 8. That's what Joc Pederson will shoot for in 60 seconds. I'm all right with the 3 swings swing off if we get there.
That would be fun. But listen, I mean, 8 home runs in a minute, that's a lot of home runs. I mean, that's a pace of 32, which no one's hit yet. But, again, I'm not going to count Joc out. He was your guy to start the night. So, let's give Carl some credit for saying Joc Jams was my guy to start the night.
What an unbelievable first home run derby for a guy that feels like he's been in the majors for like 3 weeks. I mean, he belongs.
Well, and here's a guy who, listen, he hasn't put up the huge numbers yet, but he will.
Let's go to Jess.
Clayton, all right, you're on your way to dinner with the fam, and you come back because you see Joc coming back.
Yeah, well, Charlie and Callie saw Poppy's dad up there. That's what they know him as. He said, we got to go cheer him on. So we're back, and that was pretty fun to watch.
All I saw is you come streaming in with 2 kids in hand. You're like, I've got to watch Joc do this.
Yeah, I was excited, but, I mean, listen to her. She's saying,
Let's go, Joc! Let's go, Joc! Let's go, Joc!
Poppy Joc, is that his nickname?
No, Poppy's his daughter's name. So
oh, got it.
Yeah, we're excited. We're rooting him on.
Awesome. Rabbi.
Thank you, Jess. We'll all watch it together with a minute to go. He needs to get to 37. And that won't get out.
And there might be a little bit of an advantage to Vlad Jr. here because he got a few more minutes to rest because he got to watch Joc after his round rest for 4 or 5 minutes. Joc just hit a few minutes ago, so he's still got to be a little fatigued.
He's got 2 of the 8 that he needs. That one is not going to get out. You got to figure with around 30 seconds, he's got to be at 4, and he's not there now. There goes number 3. There goes
Carl, I'm not counting him out.
4.
Don't count him out.
Number 5.
Oh,
Number
my
6.
goodness. Joc's going to do it. Watch him.
Not there. That's 36. Needs one more. This has to get out.
He got it. Go. Go.
Oh, he tied him.
Wow.
Wow. Guerrero keeps raising the bar, and Peterson keeps finding it.
Talk about drama right here.
Whew.
Look how intense this is.
Did I sign up for this? Oh, the last one had to go, and look at how close it was.
That last one barely got out.
Attaboy, Champ. Clayton Kershaw, the rest of them all loving that. Yes, sir. More work to do. That was fantastic. So now 3 swings. This is something we haven't seen before. A swing off. 3 swings per batter.
Are we going to see 3 in a row? I think one of these guys is going to hit 3 in a row. Huh? I think one of these guys is going to hit 3 in a row. 3 swings. Here we go.
What a treat for the crowd. What a treat for the people at home watching this. 29, 29, 8 and 8. 3 swings. You can take one. Smart.
Yep. There's
1 for 1.
Oh.
I don't know
if that's going to get there to center.
No,
all right.
So he's got
all
1.
Right. And this, I believe Joc Pederson now has the advantage of knowing what he needs to get. Again, you only have 3 swings. You can take as much time as you want. If it's not there, don't swing at it.
Vlad Guerrero attempted to become the youngest to ever win this derby. Joc Pederson finished as a runner-up. How about the home run derbies that Peterson's been involved with? The Frazier epic.
Oh, I was there in 2015 on the field watching the home run derby. He was making that ballpark look like Williamsport. I mean, the Williamsport home runs can get a little crazy, a little silly. It's so, I mean, that's what Joc Pederson was doing. I mean, Frazier was kind of hitting him just over the fence in left field. Peterson was hitting moonshots all over that ballpark.
All right, so understand, Vlad Guerrero Jr. has hit 67 home runs and may not advance to the finals. Peterson needs
Tim
1 to tie.
Kirkton would say, that's baseball in 2019.
Certainly a home run derby where records have been shattered. 3 swings for Joc Pederson to hit 2 homers to advance.
Joc's taking a little time. He's taking a little breather here. There's 1.
So at the very least, we'll have another swing off.
All he needs is 1 more.
Nope. That's not going to do it.
Drama, Carl!
That's not going to do it.
This would be a walk-off.
No, and a walk into the finals.
Oh, he
That's
pulled
foul.
it foul.
That's foul. Do it again.
These guys just want to give us more.
Do it again.
The fans want more. Everybody at home wants more. Josh Bell wants more. Champ wants more. Here we go again.
I just got to believe that Peterson, given that he went second, is just more tired than Guerrero. This may help because now you get a chance to breathe again a little bit. You're not coming off of that round. Clayton and his kids. Well, look at the daughter. Got another chance.
His kids are like, Daddy, I thought we were going to dinner. I'm hungry.
Got another chance.
I want Joc to win and all, but.
Incredible show these two are putting on. What a show. 3 swings again.
3 more swings for Vladimir.
Oh, there's
ain't
one.
Coming back.
No, it's not. There's 2. Look at how into it Vlad Guerrero
playing to the crowd. Oh, man. This guy has it.
Yes, he does.
Oh, he got under it. Okay. 2 for 3.
And he looks over at Joc, who will not make eye contact. Now he needs 2.
Do we need to remind the fans at home there's $1 million at stake here? These guys are serious right now. That one, he was talking to it a little bit. It needed a little bit more help. These balls aren't going as far as they were in the first round because these guys are a little bit tired, but it doesn't take away from the excitement.
Take a look at StatCast AI. It's powered by AWS. Vlad Guerrero Jr. hit 69 homers. Peterson is sitting at 60 plus himself. He needs 2 here to continue facing Vlad Guerrero Jr. And there's 1. Nope. And now
here we
down
go.
to 1 swing.
Here we go.
Look at Guerrero. This is incredible. Oh! What a valiant fight by Joc Pederson, and the embrace from Guerrero Jr. What a show. We've never seen a swing off, let alone 2 of them.
I mean, this gets better every single year, Carl, and I love the way that the Derby has been put together, the timing, the players. Listen, a lot of people were saying, why is Vlad Guerrero Jr. in this game? He's not an all-star. This is why he's here. He's putting on an absolute display here, and he's advancing to the finals.
Incredible. Both of them. His dad won it in 07, and there's a chance that 27 is going to do it here in 2019. Joc Pederson's final swing, and he knew it right away. All right, Marley, go ahead.
¿Qué se sintió eso? ¿En algún momento dudaste? Did you ever doubt you were going to do it?
No, nunca, ¿sabes? Siempre con la fe en Dios y la fe en mí. ¿Me entiendes? Un tremendo pelotero. Pusimos buen show, ¿me entiendes? Pero gracias a Dios todo salió bien y estamos aquí, estamos en la final.
I believed in God and I believed in myself, and that's one hell of a player over there, and that was a great show that we put on, and we are here, and now I'm headed to the final. Ronald Acuña me dijo que iba a ser Acuña Vladimir en la final. ¿Estás de acuerdo? Do you agree that it's going to be Vlad Guerrero and Acuña in the final?
Bueno, yo creo, ¿me entiende? Que él tiene buen swing, ¿me entiende? Va a competir con un gran tipo, ¿me entiende? Que tiene Alonso, yo creo, ¿me entiende? Que él pone buen show y esperemos, ojalá y sea los dos juniors.
Either one of them, he would love to see Ronald Acuña Jr., but Vladdy just told me that Pete Alonso is going to put on a good show. Let's listen to Jess now.
Joc, that was crazy. What was it like to be in the box, going into the overtime, all of it?
Insane. Just a lot of excitement. You know, that's why you participate in that, to enjoy moments like that. Special. One of the most talented hitters in the game. I mean, you saw the show he put on, so it was just fun to compete against him, and yeah, what a blast that was.
I mean, even your teammates. I mean, Clayton came back from dinner, he came running back in. I mean, it was unbelievable to see you guys just keep going the tie, but for you, I mean, you had to have been exhausted. What?
Yeah, I feel bad for him. He's got to keep hitting. I'm toast. But like I said, that's a special hitter. He's got a beautiful swing that just, yeah, I mean, it was fun to watch, fun to be a part of, and it was awesome.
Joc was epic to watch. Ravi?
Thank you to Joc, and congratulations to both. You understand that we began the night with the largest home run round being 28. Because of the swing-offs, Vlad Guerrero ended up with 40 in the second round, a record that may never be broken. We've had 227 tonight. What a night. Welcome back to the 2019 T-Mobile Home Run Derby with Mark Teixeira, Buster Olney, Jess Mendoza, Marley Rivera. I'm Carl Ravitch. It certainly has been a home run night. By the way, this guy's about to step to the plate as we take a look at StatCast AI powered by AWS. And because of the swing-offs, he hasn't swung a bat on this field for an hour and 8 minutes.
And that's why I like the new format. In the old format, you got 10 outs. And so if it took you a while to get into a rhythm, the round might be over. Now that you have 4 minutes, you're going to swing as much as you can, get into that really good rhythm of getting the ball up in the air, hitting the home runs. It might take you 30 seconds to get back into it, but you got plenty of time after that.
We came into the night talking about how the advantage was for the left-handed hitters. We have no left-handed hitters left. You got Acuña, you got Alonso, and you got Vlad Guerrero.
Well, now that I think of it, the amount of home runs that are hit over 450 feet, why did we think that it was going to be a problem that one of the fields was a little bit longer, a little bit higher? I mean, these guys aren't hitting 380-foot homers.
Right.
They're hitting them 440, 450, 480. I mean, Vlad Jr. hit a ball 488 feet last round. These guys are hitting tanks.
Well, Acuña Jr. starts out by going to just dead central, and that's gone. And now he sprays one to right field, and that one comes up a little shy. So it's been about an hour since he last swung a bat. Remember, Alonso in his first round didn't have to do what we've seen Peterson do and Guerrero. We didn't get to the 29s.
Yeah, he only needed 14.
Yeah.
But I got a feeling in this round, I mean, I think Acuña's going to get over 20 again. Alonso's going to have to step it up for the second round.
2 home runs for Acuña.
Not making it easy on himself. He is just powering balls to center field.
I could watch this guy hit batting practice all day long. And remember, the Braves signed this guy as a 16-year-old out of Venezuela for $100,000. Think about the return on investment that these guys have gotten. Just signed his big $100 million deal. He's going to be a Brave for a long time.
3 early with 1 minute gone, and just lifting, just massive, towering shots. Very different than the Vlad Guerrero style. These are like golf shots, Tex.
It's interesting to me that Ronald Acuña has taken the approach that wherever the ball's hit, I'm going to hit it out to that field. He's hit as many right to right field as he has center. And, I mean, right now, it does not matter where the ball's pitched. He's going to hit it where it's pitched, and it's going to go out.
And again, that 440 thing for him, not going to be a problem. We just saw one go 468. So he's halfway to his bonus.
It does feel like there's a little bit less energy in the stadium right now because after last round, seeing the amount of home runs and the drama of 3 extra mini rounds to get to a winner, people are just kind of waiting to see what Alonso does and see if there's some drama at the end.
Acuña
Jr. nearly signed with the Royals back in July of 2014. The same day that the Braves called and offered more money. He ended up going to Atlanta. He ended up, as you said, signing that 8-year, $100 million deal. And he's part of a young core there with a bunch of veterans that have folks in Atlanta thinking they're set to go on another run similar to the Maddox, Glavine, Smoltz run. Timeout, 9 on the clock with $1:42 to go. Hey, Thursday, start of a 4-game set. The American League West leading Astros taking on the Texas Rangers, who have been tremendous this season in Arlington. Woodward's got that team playing really well. 8 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN and the ESPN app as we start the second half of the Major League Baseball season. Baseball tonight will be there. We will have a show Thursday at 7 o'clock Eastern time from Arlington. So the in-state showdown, Astros and Rangers. There's a guy, Joey Gallo. At some point, you got to believe if he weren't hurt, maybe he would have been asked to participate in the Derby.
I do believe he did have that oblique injury earlier in the year, but if he was 100% healthy, he would be in this Derby, and he might be my favorite if he was in the Derby.
All right, so Acuña's got $1:42 to go with 9 on the clock, and they are hanging up there for a while. There's some people out there who are wondering about that rule, and I'm not sure if it's an unwritten rule. We're getting pitches thrown before baseballs land, and maybe it's a agreement between the players. This is how we're doing it.
Yeah, listen, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think the rule is that important. I mean, let these guys swing. Listen, if you're willing to rapid fire and keep swinging the bat and tire yourself out, you can do that. But if I'm a hitter, I would actually like to spend a little bit of time in between pitches to make sure I can regroup.
This generation of hitters don't seem to care about that.
No, they're fine. And, Acuña hit 25 in the first round. He's on pace for 16 or 17 right now. He's definitely picked it up here in the last few minutes.
Yeah, he's going to blow 16 or 17 out of the water with the minute on the clock and 30-second bonus. Alonso's not up here watching the number. He's down there thinking right now. We're more than Alonso hit in the first round already. So he's going to have to do better than he did.
These Oppo home runs, I mean, this is not normal, ladies and gentlemen. He's hitting balls down around his ankles, Oppo home runs and BP. You just can't do that if you're a normal person.
30 seconds left.
He's got his bonus. He's got 16 right now, 20 seconds left. He's going to need to get over 20 because I think Alonso is going to be ready for this semifinal round.
I think Alonso's going to be ready. The batting practice pitcher to Alonso wasn't exactly zoning into Pete's wheelhouse. I think that's the one that you got to be concerned about.
He wasn't, and I'm sure there's going to be a conversation.
17, bat dropped. He's got 30 seconds still to go. Alonso's making his way to the field, and Acuña will still have 30 more seconds. He looks up at the scoreboard, and we look up to the skies. And now down on the city of Cleveland, aerial coverage provided by Goodyear with superior performing tires that knock it out of the park. Goodyear is more driven. Incredible night of home run power that we have seen from the likes of Joc Pederson, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Ronald Acuña, Peter Alonso. 246 total home runs tonight. The previous high was 221. This is the new age, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we're living right now.
And in years past, it's like, hey, I want to see this one guy or that one guy hit. This entire field has put on a show.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not one guy that's hit tonight that's like, man, you know what? He didn't belong here. Every single person. I remember when I hit 2 home runs, and I'm like, ain't never going to ask me back to the home run derby. Just a different generation of guys. They have so much more natural power, and they can hit the ball out at will.
And by the way, I'm thinking there was some sincerity when Alex Bregman sat down with us and said, I'm seriously contemplating retiring from the derby. This is a guy that was determined both times to win it and realized it's getting a little further away as opposed to me getting closer.
Yeah, I just don't have the firepower. And again, one of the best hitters in baseball, one of the best players in baseball. But these guys are big and they're strong. And they hit the ball 480 feet. That's not Breggs. That's not what he does in batting practice.
The goal is not the Vladimir Guerrero numbers. Acuña's checked out. He's done.
He was exhausted. He was exhausted. 19 home runs. A great round. But I got to think Alonso's got more in the tank. And if he can get into a rhythm with his batting practice pitcher, I think he can hit over 20. This is that opposite field swing that we absolutely love from Ronald Acuña. Again, he's so short and quick to the ball. He can wait until the very last second, a la Barry Bonds, and just flick the ball out the other way. And one of the reasons that the Braves are so excited about him is he's getting better. I couldn't ask for a more perfect swing, a more sound approach at the plate. He knows exactly what he's doing. He controls the strike zone. He controls the batter's box. This is so special to watch.
Plus a terrific launch angle guy in an era where launch angle is everything. He hit one almost 470, 113 off the bat. And again, the red ones are over 440 feet. So a good spray chart. And his spray chart has definitely been more unique tonight than anyone else's.
That's special. Vladdy's spray chart is solely to left field. Doesn't make it any less impressive because he's got the distance. But, man, if I'm a fan of the game and I want to watch a pure hitter, I'm going to watch the next decade of Ronald Acuña being a special player.
We'll say this, having watched Vlad Guerrero now, and you see how he felt Acuña at the end, Alonso has to get to the final because I don't think Acuña's got it in him to beat that guy. Like, this is nothing right now for Vlad Guerrero.
He might have emptied the tank here, so let's see what Alonso can do and see if he can get on a little better roll than he did the first round.
Guys, you see the pitcher throwing to beat Alonso is his cousin Derek Morgan. He's an operations manager for the Waterway Gas and Wash Company. Pepper Pike, it's about 19 miles from here. He grew up an Indians fan, and Jess and I talked to him after the first round and asked him how his heart rate was. He said it was going pretty good.
Yeah. Derek Morgan, Alonso's second cousin, practice session together. They're pretty much like brothers. You said it. They grew up, one in Florida. That's where Alonso's from. He attended Florida. And Derek Morgan from Ohio. They both come from military families, and that's why Pete Alonso has said that he wants to donate his winnings to Wounded Warriors and Tunnels for Towers, a Staten Island group that benefits first responders.
We're seeing some of these opposite field home runs from Alonso, too. And, you know, in the regular season, we talked about he's got 30 home runs before the break, a new record. Darryl Strawberry had 26 for the Mets, but Pete Alonso hits the ball to center field better than anybody in Major League Baseball. Moonshots out straight away.
Well, there's a long one here. He's already got his 30 seconds of extra bonus time, and he's starting to climb towards that 19. Takes a pitch. Still 2:30 on the clock. He had to go down and get that one. And he pops that up, says, my bad.
He's just such a nice guy. We've gotten to know him over the last few weeks. You know, getting to his first All-Star game in his rookie season. He's done a lot of interviews, playing in the Mets. Not a lot of positives to come out of Shea this year at Citi Field.
Yeah.
But, man, this is one guy that you can look at as a Mets fan and say, we can build around Pete Alonso.
Well, he's had a bunch of swings here, and the baseball hasn't gone over the wall. This one might to left center field, but he's under 2 with the 30-second bonus.
All it takes is him to get on a little bit of a roll, and he'll hit a lot out in a row.
All right, so he's got a $149 plus the 30. He's sitting at 8 and needs 19.
Earlier, you guys saw Pete Alonso right before this with his head towel covered between his legs. I was talking to Jacob deGrom, Jeff McNeil, his Mets teammates. They're all staring at him down in the tunnel, and they're like, he is so serious. We love how he takes the game seriously, but even here, guys, at the Home Run Derby, we've seen every kind of personality. For Pete Alonso, he is in this thing to win it. Reminds me a lot of Bryce Harper with his dad last year down in the tunnel, very focused before this round.
He's getting a little bit of a roll here, Jess. He just knocked 2 out, and this one to straightaway center field. That gets out. So does this next one. And the climb to 19 is definitely underway.
And he's got Overman. He's got plenty of time. He's got the 30-second bonus. No reason to panic here for Pete Alonso.
Just a little different feel, knowing what Guerrero is capable of. You know, his first round, he needed 14. Here he is, needing 19, and he's sitting there at 13 with a minute to go. I just think, given what we've seen, I'd be shocked if somehow Vlad Guerrero Jr. doesn't win this thing.
Yeah, I mean, Vladdy's put on an absolute show. And you never know, though. I mean, round to round, all it takes is someone to get hot. Pete Alonso, he's getting close. This is number 15 right there.
Oh, big fly here. This should be number 16.
And you see how low he keeps his hands. He gets underneath the ball really well. He doesn't have to backspin it. He doesn't have to hit it perfect. He starts underneath the ball, and that's what allows him to hit the ball all over the park up in the air.
Well, there's one. There's another one. This one to straightaway center field. And he is right on the heels of Acuña. That's gone.
There's 19. He wants one more. He doesn't want the 30-second bonus. He wants to finish it right here. Look at him. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love this kid.
Pete Alonso and the man he says is like his brother are going to the finals.
He almost puts you to sleep his first 2 minutes, and then he goes out and gets on an absolute tear. That was fun.
Don't Bears go into hibernation?
That's right.
There you go. Jacob deGrom out there. Acuña gives him a big hug, and Pete Alonso will take a little sip of Gatorade. And this is a final a lot of people had anticipated. Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Pete Alonso. Teammate Jeff McNeil out there as well. You're right, Tex. Well, not much has gone right at Citi Field. This guy has certainly gone right.
Yeah, and I look at Pete Alonso, because of his demeanor, because of the way he embraces New York City, he's like just a stronger David Wright. I mean, David Wright was a guy that the Mets could hang their hat on to be consistent, available to the media, a guy that all the fans love, and I see Pete Alonso as a young player being just like David Wright.
It's a great comparison, and one I'm sure he'd love to know is being made. The polar bear gets into it. And I tell you what, he wants it bad. So does Vladdy Jr. We got ourselves a final set, perhaps for the ages. We've already broken all sorts of records tonight. This man is a mountain and may be tough to climb. Vladdy Jr. Alonso in the finals when we come back. Mark Teixeira, this has been quite a performance by all the participants. All right, so 29 for Vlad Guerrero in the first round, and then he went 40 in the second. He had 2 swing-offs against Joc Pederson, 69 total homers to 34.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Vlad Jr. has doubled up Pete Alonso. I wonder if there's any fatigue going on. It doesn't look like Vlad Jr.'s fatigued, but, I mean, you've had to hit a lot more home runs to get here.
In 2 derbies, Vlad Guerrero Sr. managed to hit 19 homers.
I think Junior would trade all of the home runs in the Derby to have a guaranteed career like the Hall of Famer of his father, right?
I would agree with that. We know we'll have a rookie win the Derby this year because both of these guys are rookies. The last to do it, and the only one to do it outright was Aaron Judge a couple years ago. And I agree with you. That was the most impressive performance that I'd seen at a Derby. And you wondered, will you ever see another person like him?
Yeah, Aaron Judge is a once-in-a-lifetime type hitter. But when Vlad Jr. gets on a roll, it's such a beautiful thing to watch. I mean, he takes a pretty round of batting practice when he's on a roll, and he's gotten on a few of them already today.
So Alonso goes second. How about the advantage, disadvantage? First or second? What would you want to do?
I would definitely want to go second. I mean, you got to know if I can take a little bit of time or if I have to swing as fast as I can. Going second is always better.
You have 2 timeouts in this final round, not just 1. You get 2. We've seen some incredible excitement here recently in the Derby as he calls a timeout. Harper rallied last year. We saw Todd Frazier do that as well. Taking a timeout with 2:52 on the clock. So he's already got his 30-second bonus because he's hit 2 over 440 feet. His dad won this thing in 2007. Vlad Guerrero, as a rookie, trying to win this thing in his first try.
You know what I love, Ravi? It's 10:30 local. A lot of these fans have been here since 4 or 5 o'clock. Nobody has left this building. Every single person is staying here because of the show that these guys are putting on.
Now, light shot to left, that won't get out. A little different round here for Guerrero. We're starting to see perhaps those 69 home runs take their effect. This is a very different looking round for Junior.
There's no doubt, and we've seen it in a lot of home run derbies in the past where the last round guys are not hitting as many home runs. That's where the big, strong guys that can miss balls, like both of these guys, have an advantage. So I just don't think that they're both going to be tired. But let's see if Vlad Jr.'s 69 home runs in the first 2 rounds catch up to him.
There's a riser into left. That gets into the 5th row. So he's now got a little roll going back to back. No Blue Jays player has ever won the home run derby.
He's already taken a second timeout. That shows he's a little tired.
So 8 home runs for Vlad Guerrero Jr. in the finals against Pete Alonso. Marcus Stroman out there to talk with him. Santana giving him some advice. Hey, Wednesday, looking forward to this. Tracy Morgan will host the 2019 ESPYs. It's presented by Capital One, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on ABC. And the ESPYs auction benefiting the V Foundation for Cancer Research is open through Wednesday. Your chance to bid on some amazing experiences with all proceeds benefiting the V Foundation for Cancer Research. Bid at ebay.com/ESPN. All right, the timeout pays off as we're back, and Guerrero hits that first one over the wall in left. Final round of this 2019 Home Run Derby. Pete Alonso waits. Give me a number you're looking for.
I'm looking for like 23, 24. I mean, Pete Alonso is going to hit over 20. So, Vlad's got to step it up just a little bit. He's going to get his 30-second bonus, but he's definitely behind the pace that he hit the first 2 rounds.
Prior to that first 2 rounds, every human was behind that pace. He just shattered the record with 29, and then he destroyed one with 40. A minute to go on the clock, 15 home runs after that swing.
And he's starting to get on a roll, and he's starting to hit the ball a little bit further out front. That means that his bat's getting a little bit heavier, but he's good enough, he's talented enough to make that adjustment and just go out and get the ball a little bit earlier.
Easy swing there, and that flies well over the wall and left. There goes another one. There you go.
And for those at home, you need to swing the bat out front a little bit more as you get tired, because when you're fresh and you're quick, you can let that ball get really deep and explode. As you get a little fatigued, make sure you catch that ball and clip it out front a little bit.
20 home runs, 22 seconds to go with the 30-second bonus. And again, you can definitely see a little more tired swing, but 20 is a tough number in that final round. And some 20-something is going to be a hard number to get.
I like that 23-24. He's going to have to hit a couple extra in his 30-second bonus.
We've had over 17 miles of home runs hit tonight. We've had like a marathon of home runs hit tonight. So he's got 30 seconds still to go. And he adds 20 to his ridiculous total overall.
And we've seen this beautiful swing all night, but seeing as he clips it a little bit further out front now, again, just a little bit of fatigue, but Vlad Jr., he's a guy, he knows exactly what he's doing in the box. He's got that toe tap, lightning quick hands, catching it a little bit out front and just watching it fly. See how much further out front he's getting that ball than he was the first few rounds there? Now he needs his timeout.
Think about great father-son home run duos in Major League Baseball. Barry and Bobby Bonds, Cecil and Prince Fielder. I mean, just what we've witnessed tonight. Hall of Fame dad, son shattering records in his first ever home run derby.
There's something fun about these bicolored balls. They're really cool to watch fly out.
The magenta
the bonus
ball.
Round, is that what they're called?
Yeah,
the magenta
they're magenta.
balls?
Yeah.
Love the T-Mobile balls.
T-Mobile helping out Little League International in a big, big way, as Vlad Guerrero is certainly doing his part. 22, and that one would be 23. No.
Didn't get out, 22. That's a good number.
It's a great number. It seems like it's a reachable number. I think we have drama here.
It is, and you hate to put all of this on the batting practice pitcher, but I got to feel like if Pete Alonso gets enough strikes in this round, he is going to be the champion.
You want to clap right now on the set for what we just witnessed from Vlad Guerrero Jr. in his first home run derby? I mean, that was unbelievable.
Goodness. I mean, this guy, when you look at 463 feet, when you look at 22 home runs, 111 is the max velocity, and all to the pull side. He was getting tired, but still made the adjustments to hit him out.
Here's the telling stat on Vlad Guerrero tonight. His total number of home runs tonight is more than 4 major league teams have hit in the first half of the season. Giants, Royals, Tigers, and Marlins have not hit 91 home runs.
Me and Ryan Howard were joking before. In our day, we were actually home run hitters. But you look at these young kids now, they have so much more natural power than we do. Their swings are so much more efficient, built for the home run. There is no way that we could compete in a derby like this. You throw out some of the stats of the winners are hitting 3 in the final round in years past. We're completely bowling through the record books.
Everything has changed, and it's changed this year, and it's changed tonight. Pete Alonso when we come back. I love the number that Alonso's going to shoot for. Like if you were to set an over-under, it is an ideal number because it's within reach. It's not easy. It's not 30. It's a good number for Pete Alonso, who has only been required to hit 34 to advance to the final. Think about Vlad, who's got 91 homers. 30 more than the prior record, Vlad Guerrero Jr. 30 more than the prior record. Get him a pillow. Get him some sheets and let him shut it.
Well, Pete Alonso came into this event. He said it was a bucket list moment for his career. He had a plan with his cousin. He was going to map out exactly what they were going to do. And now he's here. All he's got to do is hit 23. I say all he's got to do, but with the amount of home runs we've seen hit and how he's starting this round, it can easily happen.
It sure can. There's a little bit of adrenaline going on here because these are definitely long and they are not all being pulled.
Well, they're definitely the pitches are being thrown before the ball lands. I think we're way past that rule. You know what? Let the guys play. Let the kids have fun. The crowd wants to see the rapid fire. They want to see the home runs. And everybody's done it, by the way.
He's got 6 home runs. Pete Alonso, who leads the National League as far as rookies go in every single category.
You talking about an amazing first half of the season. I mean, it's not for Yelich and Bellinger. We'd be talking about a leading candidate for the MVP in his rookie year in Citi Field, which is not a hitter's park traditionally.
Leads him in home runs, RBIs, slugging on base, doubles, RBIs, everything. We'll take a timeout with him.
Here's my question, Carl. One of these guys is going to win $1 million. Is it like in golf where the caddy gets 10% of the win? I mean, did the batting practice pitcher going to get 10% of these winnings?
Both of these guys are minimum wage guys, and he has yet to get his bonus. Now, this one could be
that's well over 440.
Yeah, that's going to be the first. You like the pace he's on here? 2:30 to go.
He's on a nice pace. 2 home runs ago. He hit at 459. He needs 1 more over 440 to get that bonus. I think if he gets that bonus, we're going to see the winner right here in Pete Alonso.
Vlad Guerrero waits. He's got 22. He's in the clubhouse. Derby that, of course, was won by Aaron Judge a couple of years ago. And a lot of people in New York have at least raised the question, sort of long term, you investing in Judge, you investing in Alonso?
Oh, don't make me answer that question because I'd find the money to invest in both of these guys. I mean, you talk about a city of New York that rallies around their superstars and their power hitters. I want both of these guys in pinstripes for the long haul.
Halfway now, more than halfway, as that one will get out here in left field. Still only 1 at 440, so that clock is at 138, and he's not yet with the 30 extra seconds. Falling a little bit behind the pace.
And he still has another timeout, and we've seen guys take timeouts and really get on a run. So look to see what that last minute or so is going to do for Pete Alonso.
15 home runs, needs 7 to tie. Still only 1 traveled 440. There's one that sneaks over the wall. Here's another one.
I think that ball's over 440 right there.
458.
Oh, my goodness.
He's got his bonus time.
He's looking good right now.
He's got 18 home runs.
There's his timeout. He is in such a good position right now. 1:02 remaining. He's got his bonus.
Look at him playing in the crowd.
He knows he's in a good spot right here.
He came here with the intent of winning. He already told us which charities he was going to donate 5% of his money to, and he is on the verge of doing it. Pete Alonso, both feet on the ground. Aerial coverage high up in the air above Progressive Stadium. It's provided by Goodyear with superior performing tires that knock it out of the park. Goodyear, more driven.
When this field was announced a week ago, Carl, I told you, without question, Pete Alonso is the leader going into this thing. And the reason is, as you see here, right field, center field, left, it doesn't matter where all he has to do is make solid contact and the ball's going to get out. He is on his way to a championship right now.
He is sure on his way. He likely will not need that bonus time. He needs 2 to tie Vlad Guerrero. That one's going to come up short and right. And this one's going to go foul. So
29 seconds to hit 2. That was a line drive off the top of the wall.
There it is.
More.
Pete Alonso fires the bat up. He's your home run derby champion of 2019.
He didn't even need the 30-second bonus. How impressive was that? What a show we saw tonight. Vlad Jr. and Alonso, what a respect right there. Nothing but love. That was fun.
The former Florida Gator and his brother, if you will, who came over here from Ohio and pitched himself to a Derby championship. That is a smile that will not come off anytime soon. He's the champion. Instead of a belt, you get a chain. The Derby champ.
Pete, you did it. How much fun was that?
That was a blast. Oh my God, that was a blast. I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life.
So you watched the Home Run Derby growing up as a kid.
Yeah.
How much does this mean that you pulled this off?
This means so much. I mean, there's a lot I was playing or hitting for tonight. I'm just so happy that I could. I'm just so excited. I'm just happy that I could donate some money to the causes that I want to do. I want to donate 5% of this money to the Wounded Warriors and 5% to Tunnels to Towers. I mean, I have the utmost respect for the people that put their lives on the line every single day, and I just want to show my gratitude because a bad day for me is a lot different than a bad day for the servicemen and women that serve this country.
How about the show put on by Vladimir Guerrero Jr. tonight?
Oh my God, that was so fun to watch. I'm happy I didn't face him in the early rounds because he probably would have knocked me out. But I mean, I got to tip my cap. I mean, he's a hell of a hitter, and he's going to have a really long career. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Pete, Derek, congratulations. Carl, back to you.
There is such joy on the face of Pete Alonso and his best friend and brother, Derek Morgan. That's what it looked like. We saw Harper two-hand flip it. Alonso just goes one hand and fires the bat in the air. This was a huge relief. I mean, he made the pledge to those two charities long before this Derby began, and he delivered on a promise. And how about this? I mean, let's hear it for T-Mobile. How many boys and girls are going to benefit from a total donation of $642,000 to Little League International?
And we talk about how important baseball is to our communities, and to be able to have a guy like Pete Alonso come out there before the Derby even started and talk about, I'm going to donate a portion of my winnings to a couple great charities, to have T-Mobile donate over $600,000 to Little League International. We are more than just baseball players. We are ambassadors for so many different people, lifting up communities. Man, this was fun to watch.
What a night. What a night for Alonso. What a night for that guy, Vlad Guerrero Jr. Joc Pederson, congratulations. What a show he put on. All the participants, winners tonight. The fans here in Cleveland, winners tonight. Those that watched on either ESPN or ESPN2 or listened on ESPN Radio, winners tonight. For Jess Mendoza, Buster Olney, Mark Teixeira, I'm Carl Ravitch. Can't thank you enough for joining us on this special night. Congrats again to the Polar Bear, Pete Alonso.